You're way behind, man.
I
Way
know.
behind, man. Way behind.
Oh, piss off, guys. Piss off.
Piss off, mate.
Don't be all grumpy. This is a late sesh. You gotta
Yeah,
be happy.
don't be prickly, bro. It's not the
Listen,
time for that,
wait for
man.
the
Welcome to
damn
the late
bar
session,
soda
everybody.
to
What
kick
is
in.
going on? It is Monday for another 59 minutes and some change.
I like your
What's
shirt.
going on?
I like your shirt.
Great shirt.
Yeah, man. It's the trippy mushroom.
Mushroom in space.
Yeah.
It's the
Mushrooms in space.
mushroom that seeded all of the worlds.
It looks
Right.
like
Well, it's the intergalactic
The-
traveler,
That
man.
would be the world mushroom, they call it.
The world mushroom. There we go.
Ah.
a little mushroom.
All right, I've got a question right off the rip for you guys.
Rip it, dude.
Have you guys started watching yet on Netflix Ancient Apocalypse?
No,
I have
because
not.
I literally have thought about it a few times, but it's like a book I don't want to. It's Pandora's Box, one of those like shows. Like, oh, I'm gonna watch that, and then I'm gonna think about it for the next 5 years
It's so much. It's
or
like
30
or 30. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just never
Yeah, man.
leaves.
years.
Have you ever watched Zeitgeist?
no.
No, nobody
Like,
here.
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
about 10 years ago.
Nah.
Probably
like-
try 20, Scobo.
I feel like I have
It's
seen.
No, it's not that old, is it?
Yeah, dude, Zeitgeist.
Fuck.
It's like
The conspiracy one, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it's like 2.5 hours long. They made a couple
Yeah.
of them. They like Zeitgeist.
Yeah, but the
Addendum,
first
and
one's the
then-
best.
And then they made another one. There was a third one. I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
Zeitgeist,
long
the
time.
movie, Zeitgeist Addendum, and Zeitgeist Moving Forward. But Zeitgeist the movie was 2007. It's almost 20 years.
Fuck.
Yeah, anyways, watch that one. Blow your mind. Everything's fake. Everything's bullshit. Don't worry about it. We're in a simulation.
This
Oh, here we go.
is like real evidence of shit, and they are kind of pushing a certain story, but these
No.
match up with it. It's pretty cool.
So what are they saying is their proof?
Lots of stuff.
All these sites all around the world in different places using similar building methods. They're these huge
Megalithic constructions? Is that what you're talking about?
Monoliths.
megaliths.
Megalithic. Well,
Yeah.
one thing to think about on those
They
is
all-
that
Word in
the distance
architecture.
isn't just in miles. The distance is in literal, sometimes there's 1,000 years difference in things. So we can't feel that that's all part of the same project. But we do know that we as a species have moved all over this whole fucking planet and shared some information along the way.
We're saying a lot of this stuff is like rebuilds, like basically the cultures.
There'll be an old fucking site that was like a pagan site that they get destroyed, and then they build a church on top of, and then the church gets destroyed. And
That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is like Lobeke Tepe, where it's like 4 different structures that were built over.
there's like 20 of those at Göbekli Tepe. There's
Yeah.
also another place called Karahan Tepe
No,
that's even
finish
older.
Talking about, never mind. Jesus, forget it. Fuck. Not what I'm talking about.
Right on.
Let me go get some weed. Hold on. Let me go get weed.
What if we're just, like I said before, the third wave of humans
Oh, there's been
in the
I've heard-
last million years?
they've actually supposedly proven it. There's been how many different extinction? They call it near extinction events.
Yeah,
It goes down to a really small number of humans.
we're
and
talking full civilization like we are now, but 100K years ago or something like that, 100,000 years ago, and then boom, wiped out, near extinction, and then we forgot about it somehow, or it got wiped away. Then,
Well, there's flood events was one of them. I mean,
yep, lots of stuff. So
that
they
wipes
found
out
a bracelet that was carbon dated 50,000 years old. Perfect drill hole through it. Jade bracelet. Only can be done
that's
with a
fucking
machine drill.
sweet, dude. Yeah.
Yep. It's
I think
like
that was I think that was a Denisovan one that was found by Russia, wherever the fuck that was at.
I thought it was China, but it might be Russia. I don't know.
40,000 years
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
It's a long time ago.
crazy. Yep. So yeah, Brad, are you talking?
I'll let him finish his point this
We're
time.
making blackish noises because Becca's got.
Oh, yeah, I got the torch going. How you guys liking the new torch?
I love it.
The
It's-
big shot.
Yeah.
Is that what that one's called?
Oh, they stickered it up already. Nice.
The point was that because of the precession of the equinox, an occurrence which changes say the location of stars, the sun and things like
Oh,
that.
shit.
Changes the degrees of which we face them, from like northwest, east, south type of I don't know if it's latitudinal, longitudinal, whatever it is. Our reference point changes over the course of 1,000 years, right? Because of the precession, because the Earth wobbles, because the Earth bulges at the middle, okay, it has more of a wobble to it. This our perception of something changes. So basically, each one of these sites, and the sites are not just Göbekli Tepe. The sites there's dozens of sites all over the Earth that are dated, pre Ice Age era, right? Advanced civilizations, agriculture, things like that. Pre Ice Age era, with the ability to create these metholithic compounds with giant stones and mathematics and all kinds of stuff that face, let's just say, the sun or Sirius or a constellation or something.
You got to think about how much those huge stones getting transported doesn't make sense in the amount of time. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
It's over the course of thousands.
Talking about, hold on though. Let's
Buildings-
pause right there and interject. Do you know how long, for example, the Egyptians were reigning? Did you know that Cleopatra has reigned closer to us in terms of time than she did to the beginning of the Egyptians?
Yeah,
They reigned for 3,000 years. What do you mean? They had all the time in the world. And they had pulleys, and they had 1 million slaves.
No, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Rebecca,
I'm just saying, talking about how they could have gotten it done.
I'm talking about how they would move these structures over the course of thousands of years to realign.
Recent theories that
to realign them, you're saying. Okay.
Realign them is why there are so many structures, because each time they create a new structure they would change the orientation based on the precession of the equinox. Not necessarily that they're just recreating the structures, but and there's theory that the even Giza pyramids are built that are only whatever they are, 3,500, 6,000 years old, whatever they are actually built on top of structures or things that might even be closer to like 12, 20, 30,000 years old. The Sphinx, for example, the size of the head of the Sphinx leads some skeptics to believe that that it had been chiseled back and that the erosion from it dates back to when rain and flooding had occurred in the Giza Plateau like 30,000 years ago. So that leads them to believe that the creation of the Sphinx was even longer than 30,000 years ago, which is crazy numbers when you're talking about, Cleopatra's time may be close to ours, but that's far from 30,000 years ago, and these aren't 30,000 years ago. We were supposed
the Egyptians didn't make the Sphinx. The Egyptians defaced it and put the head on it.
We were Neanderthals according to our current timeline 30,000 years ago. But this suggests that we were far more advanced and that something wiped us out 30,000 years ago, which we were an advanced civilization, and caused us to re-emerge at the dawn of the last ice age. Because according to our current timeline, we emerged as our current Homo sapien at the dawn of the last ice age. Skeptics are pushing that back, saying that we were our current form
300,000 years ago.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of years ago, and that cataclysms have taken us out multiple times, and we have re-emerged. Our most recent re-emergence was 12,000 years ago, and it just so happens that most of our recent history, most of our past history beyond that, is buried beneath our recent history, which is only within the last 12,000 years. So Graham Hancock is just a journalist, but he's been some guy who's been studying all these sites his whole life and going through and trying to find the true timeline of our history, because it could pose different results than what we think we are as a species or as a entity in the universe. I mean, who knows? Who knows what we are, right? Mammalia, maybe.
And so Graham Hancock, he's not a scientist or anything. He's just trying to figure something out and like figure out more information on whatever. Nobody knows exactly what happened. We're never gonna figure that out, So whatever. It's cool.
Not that we emerged at the last ice age, Purple Sage, but that we began our agriculture and like we became an advanced species after that. Pre-ice age, we were around, but they believed that we were Neanderthal pre-ice age. This is saying that no, we were building mathematical giant pyramids and structures 20,000 years before the last ice age.
An interesting one is people will all go to Stonehenge and shit. And if you look up on Stonehenge, they moved it all around during the late 1950s because they had all been knocked over and shit. So they picked the stones back up and put them where they're at. And a lot of times with archaeology, especially if you go to like Peru and shit like that or Bolivia, they've had some kind of cataclysms there. And it destroyed, like massive floods and, a bunch of soil and silt and shit has ran over things. So when they reconstruct these things, it's really just kind of a best estimate and how they put them together. Sometimes they don't really even know how it goes. So it's one of the more interesting things out there is to realize that people just like you have been running around the planet for hundreds of thousands of years. And there's, people always want to think of like, Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal, all these other proto-humans. And we were there with them at the same time. So.
Yeah, and they're still here with us. Hence the Bigfoot that I was trying to meet up with. They're squatching. Yeah, it's strange. It's a strange one,
I heard a theory.
Bigfoot theory?
Yep, the Bigfoot and gnomes.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Are at war.
At war.
Are at war.
Yeah, they don't like each other. It's like cats and dogs type thing. Have you heard that?
They must have wanted each other to extinction then.
Yeah, no, I didn't know.
Only be one.
Part of the same forest structure. I assume gnomes like
those live at the forest.
Parts of the world.
I got a gnome.
What about fairies as well, though? Those would have to be in the same.
There you go.
Does that mean you're on the gnome side? That's like that might be dangerous.
I think no.
Hey man, the gnomes are the gardeners. I'm on the gnome side.
I don't go to the forest very often where the Sasquatches are, but gnomes will come in your house and steal your underwear and stuff like that, according to folktale. So
steal your underwear.
Bit of a panty raid, right?
Yeah.
Answer that question.
Just
I heard Knox.
underwear?
I heard
other things, but underwear too.
They have a
wake up and you have no underwear.
Out of their zone.
What are you gonna do?
Well, what if you don't wear underwear?
I'd rather be on the gnome side, I think. So yeah, I'm okay with my decision.
Yeah.
You and the gnomes, right?
They're in the garden, man. They're protecting the garden. I'm with the gnomes.
Yeah, they're usually garden creatures. I got one out front. Yep. Well,
Sasquatch just throws shit at you and stuff.
I challenge.
Yeah, and they kidnap people.
They're not like nice and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta
Nobody
deal
said
with
they're
is
nice.
stealing some underwear. I'll just not wear underwear. That's not a big deal.
Uncivilized. I'll take you as one of their own, as hirsute as you are, my friend.
Well, if you prefer the gnomes part, you don't have to worry about your underwear.
I thought the gnomes stealing your underwear. Isn't that what you just said?
If you're not friends with them.
Oh, if you're not friends with, okay, well, I'll be friends with them.
That's
for sure.
why if you pick their side,
you have to give them like a half ounce of like your top shelf head
Do
stash.
they like weed?
The Sasquatch, yeah, he demands weed.
Okay.
What about
The
those
gnomes? The gnomes are appreciative
might-
if you
The
so
gnomes like
happen
the
to give
shroom.
them some.
The gnomes. The
And the
gnomes,
gnomes,
for
the
shrooms.
gnomes only. No, I'm with the gnomes because it only takes a little bit to get
Do you know the size of a gnome lung?
them.
Medically speaking,
Is it that big? I don't think it's that big.
about yay big, 3-4 inches. Yeah.
How tall do you think a gnome is?
A gnome?
Yeah.
What are you talking? Max gnomage?
What about the
Average
giant?
gnomage.
I'd say
Top
foot and a
end.
half.
Foot and a half. Yeah.
Okay. So 4-inch
Because
lungs
then,
and a foot
because
and a
after
half.
a foot and a half, you're starting to get
Yeah.
into
So
dwarf
what's foot
territory.
and a half? That's 18 inches. 4 inches. I think that's fair. Look
Hey,
how
what's
big
the-
our lungs are.
You know what? Bake, look it up because I bet you there's a D&D rule. I bet you there's gnomes and there's dwarves and they're different heights. I'm sure of this. So we can
Gnome
settle this
height.
once and for all.
We'll
This
get to the
has
bottom of
already
this.
all been figured out.
So we're gonna do the roll 20. Yep, D&D 5th edition.
There you go.
Ooh,
No.
Thank you, Spartan, for settling it for us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say maybe up to almost 3 foot. I would say for a gnome. No, maybe not.
No, that's too
And
big.
that's a dwarf. That's a dwarf. at
That's a
that point,
dwarf,
Philip.
I think
right?
anything under 5. Is a
Holy
dwarf.
shit! Holy shit! He might be right. I just found something.
Don't talk about Red like that. That's not cool.
Anything under 5 is a
Not
Hey.
dwarf.
while he's here. Say
Gnomes
that in
are
his
small
absence.
humanoids standing 3 to 3.5 feet tall.
What?
With or without the hat. The hat can
Oh, the hat's a half foot.
That's usually just their body in
That's
D&D
max
and
gnomage,
stuff.
man. Max
Let me
gnomage.
look up a dwarf on this website though.
Rusty
Dwarf's gonna be max
clarifies-
411 is gonna be the max dwarf.
Oh, now you're approaching humans.
Well, D&D is the only rule set we have to go with.
If I could spell right now.
definitely humans shorter than 4'11 though.
Yes.
Dwarf. Here we go.
I'm gonna say 411 between 3.5 and 411 must be dwarf size.
I think Baked is a giant gnome. He's the king of the
A
gnomes.
giant gnome. He's the
That'd be
super max.
huge.
He's
That'd
He's the
be
you
super
know,
max gnomage.
Yeah,
The
man.
giant gnome must have a separate classification.
In a different hat. We've got to be able to identify him, not just through size. 'Cause,
Really
you know,
small
distance
hat.
can throw that off. It's a small hat on the big guy and a big hat on the little guy, right?
Between 4 and 5 feet tall for a dang dwarf.
See,
That's
I knew my
crazy.
shit.
Gimli was huge.
Was. Gimli was one of my favorite dwarves. He's so cool.
Damn, I'm only like 7 or 8 inches out of. I hope I don't.
7 or 8 inches. I'm close, man.
Uh-oh.
Don't shrink, man.
Yeah,
Stand up
everybody's
straight.
checking their height.
Keep your posture up.
You're not gonna shrink 7 or 8 inches.
It's possible, man. It's
It's
possible.
shrinkage,
Yeah,
Becca. Shrinkage.
Yeah.
Becca, when people get their
Are you a doctor?
when their fuses when they get their spine fused, they lose height that way.
Yep.
When I do
But
stupid
not
shit
8
like-
inches of height.
I probably lost a good
You're not
3
freezing
already.
your full
Well, you
back.
have to come, Becca. We both know, we both
Come
know
on
that
now.
fairly well. And do you think his measurements are exact when he says 8 inches? Do you really think
Yeah,
that
but
that's the exact measurement?
It's always 8 inches.
I know how tall
I
he
probably
is.
lost 3 when I dove into the sandbar, so I'm probably already down
Oof, yeah.
closer
You
to.
may lose a total of 1 to 3 inches by the time you're 70.
1 to 3 inches. That's something to look forward to.
3 inches, Red. That still puts you in humanoid or what?
Yeah. I
Fighter
still,
class, man.
Still think I'm in the.
What do they call the thieves?
Oh,
and
Well, you can be
thieves?
whatever class. Hey, whoa. Hey,
Pickpockets or
whoa.
something?
We're PC here. You can be whatever class you want. It doesn't matter your
Okay.
race.
Well, that's two different
We're not
words.
saying
though.
that.
We're not
It's just-
conflating the two things. We're saying
We're
they're separate.
we're finding out where the line is.
You
to
can
call
identify
the-
as
yeah.
any class as you want. That's what
Yep.
it's-
There you
Yeah.
go.
There we go.
It's easier that way.
If you want to be a
Becca, aren't you glad you started this
guardian.
conversation? You kicked it off 19 minutes ago, and we haven't stopped. We just keep riffing on it.
Then I identify as a giant dwarf.
A giant dwarf.
Yeah, that way,
what's a giant? That's not a class.
that way I can be. That way
Ice
I,
giant.
be a
Ice
giant.
giant.
I am a
Oh, I
giant.
see what you're saying. So, like in the dwarf community, though, you're free.
Community.
Yes.
Oh,
be an
yeah.
outcast.
So they're like,
He
holy
is
shit.
persona non grata.
He's a dwarf, but how tall would you
Our
be?
classification should actually be leg length because
You'd have a You'd have an
You
extensive
have a long
backstory
ponytail.
of being an outcast and splitting the clan, some wanting to embrace you for your size in battle, but others,
I don't know
you
though.
know, arguing that you're not a dwarf because
Based
of
on
your
leg
stature.
length, based on leg length, am I still
So you just have really short legs, but your torso is
Yes.
really long.
the size? The legs would be like
So you look like the trolls on WoW.
8 to 10 inch tibia max.
Wait, your legs are really long?
Short legs are short. Torso.
Oh, okay. Then that's not. Yeah,
Torso.
that'd be. Yeah.
Cheers, Georgia Grow guy.
Cheers, Georgia Grow guy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Remember.
So he's got
I don't know. If anything, I've seen your garden. You guys would be more hobbity. You guys
The
have like
class
a perfect that backyard.
We're
Yeah.
normal sized humans.
So Hobbit.
Normal size.
No,
Normal
but the
size for the
lifestyle, the
17th
lifestyle,
century.
the lifestyle of a hobbit is just like live off of the earth or Middle Earth, I should say.
True.
And then
Hobbit hybrid. A Hobbit hybrid is the classification I prefer.
okay.
Tall Hobbit.
Hybrid.
Giant. I'd prefer the giant again. Giant Hobbit.
What is all this?
Okay.
What is all this giant talk, bro?
Yeah, he really needs to be a giant.
Up
I
north.
have a feeling if he plays D&D, he's picking like
But
I'm gonna be
I'm gonna be the head fork.
7-foot human who's just massive,
yes.
and his name is Giant.
His name is Gerald.
Guinness Book of World Records.
Gerald the
World's
Giant.
smallest Hobbit.
He has a rare disease of giantism. He continues to get bigger.
Speaking of gigantism, do you guys know the one about the tallest dude ever? That his name was like Robert Wadlow from the 1930s.
Let me I like to fact
he's-
check this boomer.
I think he's 8'10" or 8'11".
I think he's right on
the
that.
tallest
Tallest man
Yeah,
right on
ever.
Robert Wadlow.
It looks weird
Robert
though, man. It's like,
Wadlow.
Get off me, Baked. Fact check me.
it doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't
correct.
look. It doesn't look like they had a good
Was it
quality.
8'10" or 8'11"? Which one is it? It's 8'11", isn't it?
811.1.
Yeah. But he died at like 21 from an
400
infection in his ankle.
439 pounds. That dude
Yeah,
was
man.
huge.
Was he?
Yeah, he died at 22, man.
22.
That
Okay.
doesn't even count then, I don't think.
What the fuck does that mean? Is there a certain age limit he's got to count?
I
Well,
guess.
because it
He
doesn't
was still
sound
the
like it's a
tallest guy ever
viable. It sounds like it's not a viable
So he was alive for 21.
giantism.
He was alive for 21. Giantism kills you.
Yes.
So he was alive for 21 years. That's not good enough for him to be the tallest guy alive.
No,
He's
it's
I
only
guess-
22
I
years.
guess-
It's not a long reign, right?
I guess. I want to see somebody live like 50 years minimum.
Yeah. Well, there's another one. There's
that cuts out a lot of the
Holy
population,
shit.
unfortunately.
He grew the whole time.
yes. He never stopped.
That's what giantism is. It's a mutation. Where you never
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
It's like he was 20 years old. He was 8'7". By the time he was 22, he was
Crazy.
8'11".
That's what
So he
the
grew
Andre the
4
Giant.
inches
had.
more in 2 years.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant had that same thing, but they ended up starting.
The actor guy.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
Well,
wrestler.
Didn't he play
Wrestler.
Hulk and stuff?
Oh yeah, he was an actor.
No,
he did
that's
play
Lou
in the Princess,
Ferrigno. You're thinking of Lou
he played
Ferrigno.
in the Princess Bride, though.
Yeah. Played in The Princess Bride.
How do you know that? Did you watch Princess Bride? Baby?
No,
Fuck, I
I saw
watched that
something
shit.
on it. There was something
Okay.
about him, I think. I think he has
He
a
was
documentary.
he's the original, you know, the stencil that says "Obey" on it. That's the Andre the Giant face.
Princess Bride is a
Obey underneath it.
classic movie.
It's a good one.
Oh, I'm not logged into YouTube.
Baked, you got to see Princess Bride, dude.
Princess Bride.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, I gotta sit through it. I've seen bits and pieces.
It's a good one, man.
Andre the Giant is a good character.
There's
should
a lot of
do-
good characters in there, honestly. I
It's
thought.
been so long since it's probably been 15 years since I watched it.
Yeah,
Should watch it.
I'm trying to log into YouTube.
If I could sit through it. It's such a good movie. I've seen it so many times. I don't know. It would be fun.
You're not really selling it.
I'm not selling it much. Well, I've just seen it so many times.
There's so many good one-liners in that fucking movie, though.
Great movie. But yeah, I mean, we could totally watch it.
Billy Crystal's in that movie. People forget about that. He's the
People
one.
forget about Billy Crystal in general. He hasn't been relevant in 20 years.
He was funny in that fucking movie.
City Slickers was the jam.
City Slicker.
City Slickers. That was okay. I like that one.
I like that one.
Didn't I say we'd talk about movies?
3 of them.
This turned into the Late Sesh movie review.
The City
It's
Slickers.
amazing because I don't see a lot of movies.
Good one. I
Fuck
think that
no.
was like
Yeah.
I feel bad because you guys will mention movies and shit, and I'm like just quiet as fuck over here because
I don't remember that.
don't watch
What's
them and don't know.
City
What's the longest YouTube you watch?
The
Barton.
longest video?
Yeah.
On YouTube?
Yep.
You guys ever watch Ernest?
Half hour maybe.
A half
20.
hour. It's in. Okay. That's a TV show.
What about you, Baked?
YouTube.
know,
I
right?
don't really watch YouTube.
Just create content. I don't watch the shit,
I
right?
just watch. I watch movies and TV.
I would say the longest thing and I can't count it as watching it because it's more audio than video, would be there's some like 10-hour Terrence McKenna talks and shit like that. It's like all
10 hours you sat through something?
I have sat through some long Joe Rogan, but I think that's like 2 or 3 hours.
3 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 5.
I just mean, my point is that YouTube's kind of a new TV.
2006 is YouTube? 7? Something like that. Been around for about 15 years.
Yeah, but it's so prevalent now. I know so many people that use it and nothing else.
Audiobooks? You guys ever listen to audio? I've listened to like 12 hours of audiobooks.
What do you use? CD, cassette?
8-track, reel to reel, 78.
Oh, you download them off the interwebs?
Or stream them, yeah.
The World Wide Web, Baked. Don't confuse people.
World Wide Web.
There's a lot of content on YouTube. There's
Yeah.
something.
How many videos do you think are on YouTube? Anybody want to take a guess?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna Google
I mean,
it.
it's going to change every time if you give a definitive answer, the number will change, even if it's right. Like the next 30
The
seconds.
better question is how many new videos are uploaded daily? I bet you that's a mind blowing.
100,000. 100,000.
Oh, well,
Every
first
day.
answer the first question.
I'd say 0.7 million
That's it?
a day. That's a daily
Oh.
0.7 million daily upload worldwide.
700,000.
Yeah.
700,000.
So it says, that's interesting. You want to know why?
Why is that interesting?
What's your guess?
There's no definitive answer how many videos are uploaded onto YouTube
Always
in a
changing.
day in 2022, but in terms of number of hours, approximately 700,000 hours of videos make it every single day.
Every day. I
Jesus.
knew it was like 100,000 at least. So, yeah.
Well,
There's 800 million videos on YouTube.
of course.
So, anybody that worries about somebody finding out, like you're a professional and you worry about being noticed in chat or on one of these shows, bro, nobody's watching this shit. There's just, you know what I mean? There's just so much content out there. You have to really be looking for it to stumble on.
Because we are not beings of mammon.
We're beings of.
Yeah, Eagle did that 24-hour one. And so, well, no, it wasn't 24-hour. The chatathon was 12 hours. So, there's a lot of good fucking long trim jail videos that you can definitely go through, man.
Yeah.
Being on 3 shows a week is a lot. Like when it's any more than that, it's like.
It's a job now.
Yeah.
But it's late enough. Like it's late enough.
Yeah, Fumador also does long ones as well. Chad's idiot. Ooh, this is an expando smoke on this Snow G. Take that nice hit and then woo.
Yeah, shout out to Indica B for the Skittles. Skittles by Jamak. So I don't know if that's the cross or what, but it's tasty. Really well done.
Scubo, didn't we do like a 4-hour fucking late sesh one night? Or
I'm
wasn't
sure.
there like a second
Like
late sesh?
we've done, I know we've done at least a 3-hour one.
We did some like 3 or 4.
Yeah, y'all used to go into the night.
Or It might have been one of the ones that we weren't even. It wasn't even live. It was one of the recordings, and we fucking sat there fucking 4 hours and did a recording, something like that.
It was back when it was just me and you, Red. The original fucking
us and Abolished, or maybe Spartan, or fucking I don't know, man. It was a long show.
Yep.
Not that means daunting. It was just time-wise long. It's fun. Good conversations. So it definitely
it's just
wouldn't be
like
hanging
a
out.
hangout. It's just like hanging out with you guys. It just feels like that. So
Yeah,
right.
It's just hanging out, friends.
Speaking of hanging out, to the people in chat, if you guys have any grow questions or anything like that, toss them in chat and we'll kick them around a little bit and try to come up with some kind of answers. Otherwise, we're going to continue to get stoned and have some laughs. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that some of you out there are in top chat rather than live chat. Make sure you switch over so that shit flows easily for you.
Saw Daddy Red in chat. Big shout out to him this week. If he's still listening, thank you very much for all the awesome food and keeping everything happening up at deer camp. Family, brothers, dad, nephews, shit. They're all old enough to hunt on their own, and it's pretty fucking cool, man. We had a good time. We had some great food all weekend. My nephew ended up bringing up a turkey. Dad with some ham and fucking chili. My brother made chili, and there's just so much fucking food, dude. Every day, good food, good times. Not a whole lot of like TV or any of that stuff. There's no real cell service or internet. It's really nice. Sleep through the whole night, man. There's no pinging going on. It's great.
You mean no DOG?
No DOG either. Yeah, no.
He's not feeling it.
He really was not feeling it,
We had
dude.
some rough nights.
Is he doing better today, though?
Becca had some rough nights with me not here. Not just that he's paying the butt in the middle of the night, but like his anxiety was.
You tell him, DOG, don't listen to his bullshit, boy.
His anxiety.
Say no.
Stomach issues, which was leading to some. He doesn't get outside instantly. He's going on the floor. Issues. Yeah. So there's a lot of mess to clean up.
He gets older. He said, "I'm sorry, man."
Yeah, he's been all right. And then the last couple of days,
he was so anxious because he was gone.
Of course, it's stressy, man. That's his dude. He's known him his whole life.
I've never seen it so intense, though.
When I got home on Saturday, and he was going out like every hour to 2 hours, he was going out and like dropping his ass. Every 2 hours. He goes a couple times a day, but like not like this. So I'm like, fuck. So finally, like he went out 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night. 1 a.m., really? 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 9 a.m.
But he's letting you know though, right?
We had 6. Yeah, he's letting us know. One time, I didn't get up at the first howl, and he dropped ass right in the bed. Said, "Fuck you! If you're not going to get up, I gotta go." And so like we let him out and did his thing. It eventually turned to the point where there was blood in his stool, and so dude, it started like looking into it and just kind of monitoring him. It eventually went away. We made him fast yesterday. We just didn't feed him. Then when we did feed him, we gave him like some eggs, carrots, some yogurt with probiotics, some stuff like that.
Rice and hamburger.
Just some good stuff to help like heal his sensitivity in his gut. He was obviously like his stress levels were chilling out, but he still had the diarrhea, and that's not helpful because he's not absorbing water and it's just passing through him.
Yeah, you got to watch the hydration.
It worked out like fast, man. Fast. He was fine today. We watched his stool today, and it's getting better. It's hardening back up, and he was fine, man. Playing all day, playing with us. And the big thing that we did, I think most is, so when I got home Saturday, I immediately jumped on making RSO. I had a bunch of oil to process. Becca had it soaking, and I had to filter it and do some stuff that took all day. And he didn't really get a whole lot of like attention from me. We were busy. We have been doing the Third Eye Muse Craft Affair in Lansing. at the Fledge down there on Eureka Street in downtown Lansing. You can check with the local flyers for the address, or get with me and I'll give you an address. Or I suppose we could do the production value and pull it up here on the screen. Figure that out here in a second. So we've been doing that every week. We were supposed to do it Sunday. Unfortunately, we had to cancel at the last minute. I apologize if anybody was coming up there to meet with us, have some safe access for products, anything like that. We will be there this coming week. We had to stay home with the dog. We couldn't.
What time is that? Just as a shout out, and where's it at?
That's 11 to 5 p.m. Yeah, I'll pull up the address.
It's 1300 Eureka Street.
Perfect.
1300 Eureka Street.
Even better.
Is he going to join us this week for Polarity Science as well to talk about
that?
that?
So is he?
Yeah. He's supposed to.
I got to talk to him. I talked to him earlier today, but not about that. Let me see here. We are doing that. There's a decent amount of vendors, as far as products go. I've seen Terp Wizard there, I've seen Yeti Stash, Terp Wizard product, Yeti Stash product. All kinds of great vendors have been up in there. And what is caregivers? Yeah, caregivers. Obviously Third Eye Muse and their products. So this event is going on, and we stayed home all day Sunday and just we stayed in bed with the dog, and he ended up not having to go out every 2 hours. He's healed up and feeling better. And today we went back to work. We went to the farm, did our thing, came home. He was fine doing his thing. No shit all over the house. So fortunately he's back to normal. And it was rough, dude. It's scary when you're dog shitting blood and doing that stuff, man.
He's
it's
so old,
fun,
so it's just scary.
Yeah. I mean, we're ready for the worst at any moment. My big thing is, I want to make sure that he's comfortable and happy at all times. So he's cool. He's back to being a little booger, He's whining and doing his thing and just being fun. A lot of fun. Chickens have been pushing his buttons, and so he's all kinds of active with that.
Yeah.
Keeping him busy, that's for sure.
I wanted to share something real quick, if I can figure it out how, real quick. It's a new bill this is a good one, surprisingly enough.
You bring it up and I'll bring it up.
Okay. And it's been introduced. It's House Bill 6474. I believe it was Representative Steve Cara, or how do you say his name? Cara. I believe. I don't know. I don't know if it's Republican or Democrat, but that's his name, Cara. And they're titling it the Medical Marijuana Municipalities Ordinance Act. But the good thing to look at is here, Section 5. Like, what does this thing do? Because these are all definitions up here. But it's basically putting restrictions on municipalities that are trying to do all these overreaches. And it's saying, you can't do that. So, for example, some of the things it says a municipality shall not adopt or enforce an ordinance if the ordinance does any of the following. Then it lists a lot of the stupid things that they've been trying. And so this one seems like a good one to get a hold of whoever your local rep is, and send them an email and say, hey, I would like you to please be in support of House Bill 6474. It's a common sense bill. It's really short and sweet. You can look it up on. I'm just on the Legiscan, LEGISCAN.com, and you can look under Michigan House Bill. So MIHB 6474. You do a search, it'll pull it up. It'll tell you the sponsors. It'll tell you all the stuff you want to know. But it's only been introduced so far, so who knows? It could sit there introduced and do nothing. But yeah, if you get a hold of your legislatures, maybe you can get them to push that thing and get it signed into law. It seems like an easy one.
So just for the sake of not having to read the whole thing right now on air, does it mention anything about townships that already have enacted any of those rules? Like, do they have to
that would go if that enacted that did what?
Like, let's just say the township already has, boom, 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 enacted an ordinance that violates all that. Can we just fucking throw the book at the township, or does the township, have to just change their shit?
The township just
They
has,
wouldn't change it on their own. You'd probably have to sue them, and then they would.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Can I just look
no. At the
Well,
time of that being set into law, the ordinance would be overturned by state law and no longer in effect and unenforceable. So at that moment on, from when that became state law, what?
But if they kept it, if they didn't,
Then they couldn't. They would be against the law.
Yeah.
You'd take them to court, or
Yeah, you'd have to take them to court to get it so that it
You-
would be
you
like
could
they
get the-
change their shit.
but they would be so. I mean, the law is clear. It'd be so.
oh
so-
no, I can see my township just not even knowing that happened, and they would just be like, I would not change it, and so it'd be a great opportunity for us to take them to court. That's
If
great.
you wanted to be funny, Red, what you should do is look that House bill up, like I just was saying there.
You have
And,
an attachment in your email.
Just print it out. Just print it out with nothing else, just that House bill, and put it in the mailbox. So there's, let them think it was something that's.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, that probably would work. Honestly, you're probably right. Just put it in there. They wouldn't even be like, yeah, that would work. They don't
The
have.
worst yet, I mean, put your hoodie up and stuff, because there's going to be some
Yeah.
cameras in the parking lot. But yeah,
The lack of resources that they have, it blows
Reported.
my mind that they won't adopt any cannabis businesses. It just blows my mind that they won't. That they're totally opted out. And like,
And you guys aren't unique in that. That's the saddest part of all is that,
Yeah.
St. Clair County is the same fucking way, bro.
you go up north. You up north with townships with populations less than what we have, right? And dude, they're booming with them. Like we were
That's
just
what's making all their money for their economy, though. That's why they let them up there.
we weren't in Omer, but I basically drive through Standish and drive through. I take 23 back over to 65. I take 75 over to 23 to 65. Not 23 down here, right? Not Interstate 23. This is like Highway 23 that branches off into Standish and then goes through a few small towns off towards back the east side of the state. And then it runs into Highway 65. We go north, dude. There's a dispensary right there on the corner of 65 and 23 next to a jerky shop. And then if you go down a little bit further towards Standish in Omer, I'm driving by a brand new building with like 4 or 5 air conditioners, fenced in building. I'm like, oh, that's
You know what it is.
a grow facility. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, they're up here. And there's no population. Maybe it's easy for townships to accept that because the populations are smaller. It's
But we
more
know all it
farmland.
takes is one
but-
person to be on that board to convince everybody else to get on board.
Yeah, that's true.
We
Yeah.
already know that.
I think you should run for the board, Red.
It's not a bad idea. I just need to
Yeah.
live there. I don't live there, and so that makes a lot of things difficult because it's difficult to, I'm an outsider to a lot of.
you can't be on the board if you don't live there.
Exactly. That's one part of it. But then even just as trying to have a business there, they want people that like live, but we have owned that property for a long time. So technicalities, I'm out there cutting the grass. We live out there. Show me on my hand. All right, well, Uncle Rick. Here you got it.
I just dropped
Guys,
in the chat a link to that bill if you guys want to read it.
I don't know if I'm mirrored or not.
Thank you, Spartan. You're good, Red.
Rick, I live about here, okay? And to where we went hunting was like, I don't know, man, like a year. It's not
Yeah.
that high up. It's only about here. It's maybe 45th parallel, 40th, close to 45th
I
parallel.
love how Red uses parallels as if they're like internationally known and everyone understands where the parallel demarcation lines are and shit. Like, oh, I know exactly where you're at.
Out here, and it's a little north of the thumb. See, the
He
thing is,
uses
the
it
thumb's
all the
like way
time,
more.
too.
up here.
He does.
The thumb's a little further up there in relation on the hand.
It's almost a clandestine.
How many miles in between parallels?
Why does that go?
Like the 44th and the 45th.
You're our Jamie for the show. Google that for us.
He's parallel expert.
Oh well, there you go. Just
Well, you
go
got
right
to
to the
wait.
I'm
source.
just wondering. I'll Google it. Here we go. How many?
There's a leg. You have to wait for Rick's answer. You got boomer leg and the leg from the fucking YouTube too. So
Blue Kiss. There you
take
go.
him a while
Ricky.
to see the keys and to be able to type it out right. So you guys give him.
I would like to give a
He said
shout
it
out
depends.
to Sticky Ricky. I hope that all.
Oh, you're gonna love this answer, Spartan.
It varies.
Am I allowed to say, or are we waiting for Rick to
No,
guess?
no, go for it.
He said depends. He said.
About 69 miles.
Oh, perfect. 69.
Yep.
Like it.
Nice.
That's
So
my birthday.
Through like 1 parallel, 2 parallel, 3 parallel.
what?
Is that what you mean? Each parallel is 69 miles per. I don't know.
Yeah. So like wherever
You'll
the
never forget it
44th
now.
is, and you're traveling north, and you hit the 45th, that was 69 miles.
And I'm not even going to
If you went
highlight.
straight, line. I
How can you go
guess.
straight line on the globe, bro?
It's
You have to go
Absolutely.
through
it's
the
just a
following the
rough
latitude.
estimate, so you can be like, oh, I went about 69 miles.
Earth. I like it.
That's how they made the roads.
Who doesn't love MVGS geography class, man? It's fucking. It's always a doozy.
Marcus Van Duzer, that's the guy that made all the roads possible.
In what way did he enable that?
I don't know, I just made him up.
Oh,
You just made them up.
Mortimer
Yeah,
Snerd.
See, that's what would make him a
Mortimer
good.
Snerd. I like that one. I'll never remember that.
60
though.
nautical miles, says Rusty.
Nautical miles. What's a fucking nautical mile compared to a regular mile then?
Yeah, and like what's knots? You know, people will talk about it's, some
Yeah.
fuck, I
That's
don't
when they
know,
used
dude.
to. That's
Is it
an
because
old way.
horses can't swim?
Yeah.
There's an old way of
So they couldn't use
measuring the boat
horsepower?
speed. They used to measure the boat speed back in the day by actually taking a rope, tying it in knots, and throwing it back there and seeing how many knots it pulled out.
But how
many
fast is that though?
No, they've
You know
got
what I
it's
mean?
it's a standard. It's a standard measurement now, and I don't fucking know what the conversion is, but it's more accurate than just knots and rope.
Do you want to know the standard conversion?
Thank you, please.
You can
Because
tell
I
me.
can tell you right
I'll
now.
get it probably before the end of the show.
One
you-
knot is 1.15 miles per hour. Useless.
So
Useless.
it's useless, pretty much, man.
It's 10% faster than a mile an hour.
Bunch of sailors that were like,
10% fast.
yeah, we don't like miles per hour. That's for cars. We're gonna make something up. It's
Right.
gonna be slightly faster.
10% faster because it's
Yeah, fuck you guys over there on the land.
Sounds
Like, what is that shit?
They
Come
should have
on
just
now.
tied the knot just a little bit more differently, and they could have made it like almost perfect.
If
You
you're
see,
at
you see,
sea,
did the plane guys do that? No, they were cool.
Off
They
the
were
back.
like, okay, let's use miles per hour.
Well, they got to land. They got to land planes on
I
fucking
want
on
to
fucking
explain
boats.
this. I wanna
So
explain
they got to know the knots,
You're
man.
at sea, man. You're at sea. You're not on a road. A road is a fixed surface. The sea is a moving. There's difference in resistance, right? So it's a different
I
formula.
don't think it matters. If you're going 43 miles an hour in a boat, you're going 43 miles an hour.
Your miles per hour per drag is different, though.
But
I'll tell you what.
came
The
first.
engineer
What
knows.
came first.
Boats came.
That's true.
Referencing what cars
Knots came first.
Yeah, boats came first. It's not like they're both here at the same time.
first.
Jeez.
Fucking
They had
Jesus, you'd
they
think
had
you'd
the
know this shit.
fins and the
Damn
way
You
America.
know that fucking public schools.
Thank
No,
you.
but hold on. Let me take it back then.
Okay,
Let me
Oh,
take
well,
it
here
back.
we go.
Because before miles per hour, we weren't that fast. You know. So
Do you
we
think
had
that-
what do we have? What do we have?
Boats.
Feet per second or feet per hour. And you were walking.
in the United States of America, where we use inches and feet.
feet per second.
I'm
They
not
have
sure that
boats
we were-
long before America.
I'm not sure if we
Yeah,
were.
we use feet.
When we were using cars, when that car was invented, were we on to feet by then, or were we still using metric system?
Or kilometers.
You mean miles per hour for cars or feet?
Before
I'm
metric.
thinking kilometers per hour, man. Metric.
You think were we metric back then? I don't know.
I bet boats came even before then. People were figuring out that shit. How
Both
fast
came before language.
based
I would-
on the sun and the stars and like
Gyroscopes,
triangulated.
man.
I would imagine that we were on metric.
We got
because
longitude.
we were the colony of Britain.
Well,
And they were figuring out
Careful.
maps.
I
man.
think we rejected that
I think
as
they were
like
using
as a
cubits.
fuck you.
No, I think they were using cubits as measurement back in
When did
That
America?
sounds very
the
metric. to me.
fucking. I think What is it? Like
Well, they
1.8
changed the
or
metric
something?
and we didn't, is what Nebraska says.
Cardiographers or cartologists? Are they cardiographers?
1866.
Cartographers.
Cartographers?
Yeah,
Cartography, the map makers?
reference maps that were like the cartographers that made the maps had reference maps that were older than gyroscopes. Figure that one out. Older
I
than
just seen a thing on Lewis and Clark where they always teach you that Lewis and Clark were these like
1832.
dudes that went all the way to the Pacific. And they're like, how did they get the maps right? Well, they got the maps right because they talked to the local
pirates.
the local native population, like laid out every river and all this other shit and drew all these like great maps way before the Lewis and Clark expedition. So, it's always standing on
I believe
the
it.
shoulders of someone before you when it comes to map making.
yeah, totally.
There's
I
like the
believe it.
Mercator map. Going back to that Graham Hancock shit because I watched that a long time ago. He shows I think it's the Mercator map, which supposedly shows like Antarctica or some shit on the bottom of it, which is prior to its discovery, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was discovered in 1826 or whatever.
There you go, something like that.
It's
Yeah,
been there.
Yeah, it's been. Well, yeah.
But it was I think the Mercator one was like a Turkish admiral's map that he had made in the. It
15.
was before that, 1600s.
And he used reference maps and
And he
thing
like
was that
wrote
the-
on the map that he used 20 different maps
Yeah.
from all over
yeah.
to make his map.
I like the map they found that is accurate to what the landmass looks like under Antarctica right now, under the ice.
That's the one I think.
Yeah,
I think
that-
it's the-
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
they
it would
call it
be,
the
and it would be at a time. It would be at a time like when the sea levels were 400 feet lower than what they are today, which would have been like before the last ice age.
Antarctica used to be like
During
fucking
the last ice age.
a forest. Like it used to be forested and shit.
Yeah. Blue Kiss says up in the chat, she says they had dragons. I got an interesting one for you to think about. Consider this. What if dragons of old were just some late hangers on from like the dinosaur age?
Yeah, for sure.
And it just kept getting passed forward and forward and forward through, word of mouth. And
Reading
then
these
it turned, it just kept getting more and more elaborate in the stories and shit. That's why we have
Right,
dragons.
people dug up dinosaur bones and
Right.
dragons.
But they didn't even start doing that shit until like the 1700s.
What's that? Digging up dinosaur bones?
Yeah.
They could have though. They could have found them.
They could have. But
Started saying that
they're
they're
like, fuck it. It ain't nothing. We don't know shit.
yeah, it's just dragons.
It's crazy to think about all the stuff though that's now like on the bottom of the sea that was once like above land.
Well,
That's
it's going to happen again too. I mean, it's always the coastlines are always changing. So if you've seen a map from like, let's say that the younger Dryas before the sea levels rose like 300, was it 300 feet or 100 meters or 300 meters or some crazy shit?
400
feet. There you go.
400 feet.
400
There's like a huge difference between 300 feet and 900 feet, I realize, but my memory is a bit spotty.
Well, I guess it's dependent on what part of the coast you're talking about, but there's not much of a difference between 300 and 400 feet, but it could be a lot of difference. Could be the difference in the connection between Antarctica and South America, and for that to be mapped, that means that someone had to have known that it existed and mapped it prior to the Younger Dryas. That's the big one. I think that's the big like, like what is this? Because like, if you could look at it, like if you were to they've got it all mapped out now, like through sonar and shit, that if we drained the ocean 400 feet, it would be connected in that same respect. Same as what
the area in between what would be the eastern coast of England,
investigation,
and the coast of Germany and shit and France. There is land underneath there, and it was called Doggerland. And like 8,000 years ago, it was above water. And then, as the sea level rose, it submerged all of that, which actually turned them into an island.
Super interesting shit about the Maltese Islands too, and how they were all one big landmass with Sicily and
I
Italy.
mean, you didn't even mention that though when you talked about Malta's fucking got some of the oldest stone architecture around.
I was getting to that. Something what's cool
Hyperborea or something like that with the
similarly, they have multiple sites throughout all of their islands where these the alignments are moved every couple thousand years, and it's like in alignment with the precession of the equinox towards Sirius. For some reason, all of these I mean, Sirius is the brightest star in the sky, but it's not the brightest. You also have Polaris as the brightest star in the sky. Sirius is not the brightest star in the sky. So Sirius is just a bright star in the sky, but it just so happens
Changes.
a lot of. It also moves. It moves throughout August.
Precession of the equinox.
The Lionsgate is a very strange thing. And yeah, so like I don't know. There's a lot of like theory that consciousness comes from Sirius and a lot of other things, and for some reason, all these different cultures throughout the world are obsessed with Sirius. I don't know what the obsession with specifically Sirius was, unless there is a larger backstory to that has been handed out throughout humanity prior to any of this other shit. Prior to the building of all of these structures. God, man, if you're talking 30,000 years ago, then this story hits globally longer than that. You know what I mean? So who's going around telling everybody what to look at? You know, is the big question. And that's why I'm so, intrigued. Really, it's very, very intriguing. And whether or not it's a farce,
Exactly. It's just interesting. You know what I mean? It's something that's cool to look up and read on and shit and wonder what it was like.
Well,
like Pangea. You know what Pangea is, right?
Yes. And before we get into that, I just want everybody to remember that, we have this hustle and bustle of everyday life that we go through, and we don't get a good chance. Some of us do. Some of us live in the country and stuff. We don't get a good chance to like go outside and look up and see how small we are in the infancy of what's out there. It's humbling, to get out there and do that. And that's why, it's interesting sometimes to figure out like maybe consciousness does come from Sirius. We will never know. Or maybe we will find out something.
Maybe
theoretical physics will take us. I don't know. Go ahead, Scobo. What about Pangea? Well,
that if you go back far enough in time, that all the land masses were theorized to have been one landmass. That is fucking cool. Now you'd think that that's really cool because you could have zebras running around in Alaska and shit.
I think they proved
it predates like any kind of animals. You think they disproved that?
I'm gonna see if they I think they proved it. It's not even a theory. Hang on.
Yeah, well, there's multiple different things. There's like Pangea, and then it's when it starts to break apart, there's another name for the areas that it creates. And
modern geology has shown that Pangea did actually exist.
There you go. Back in my school days, but that's back when me and other people were hollowing out canoes and trying to make our way along the seashores.
Man, look at this. Look at this weird. Could you imagine? I'm going to share my screen.
Bring it up.
It's brought.
It's brought. It's added.
Look at this.
Zoom in on that for us old boomers. There you go.
Yep. Look at North America. This is our beach area. There's Cali.
There's Cali. There's Baja.
East Coast over here somewhere.
Right. So then dig that. Then that means that Spain is touching like Newfoundland or whatever the fuck it would be.
Spain's either here or here. One of these, I think.
I would think that you see that red line in between Europe and North America.
This one? Oh, right here?
Yeah, that's where I think Spain would be.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah, and then if you can,
North
I don't know if
China is somehow a strip.
Okay, so
China got the shit into the deal here.
million years ago. That's fucking
How long? You say this 7 million?
237 million years ago, the early Triassic period.
Yeah.
Look at that massive swath of ocean. Jesus.
How wide? That's probably so wide from there to there.
Wait a second. Petoskey stones are 400 million years old, and they're still up in our lakes. But yeah, Pangea was only 200 and some thousand.
That's even crazier to fucking try to wrap your head around.
Yeah. So wait a minute.
Wait, what are you talking about, Red?
All right.
Talking about the age of rocks.
We have Petoskey stones in our Great Lakes that are 400 million years old. So that's
Rockhound Farms over there.
How do we have stones in our?
Because the Earth is older, Red. The Earth is like fucking 4 billion years old. It's okay. Rocks can be.
What are you talking about?
The lake hasn't moved. It's just been the same lake.
No,
Pangea's
it was
moved.
coral. It wasn't wasn't Petoskey stones coral
Yeah, they were coral. So,
Yeah.
in one area, and
So
that
Michigan-
just got transferred over to
so
here.
we were underneath the ocean. We weren't
Yeah.
in
This
Pangea.
is all probably underneath.
Michigan was part of the ocean, not even the landmass of Pangea. The landmass of Pangea came out of something else.
No, look, if you look at it, like it was all together and then something hit. and
No, yeah, and we broke around
time.
the lakes.
So
So
I
the
like
land formed around the lakes.
so that could also explain why Antarctica has palm trees and things. Spartans
What?
Yeah, Antarctica has like
I'm gonna take a dab on that.
Antarctica has
So you'll
like
check that fact.
Yeah.
yeah,
Cheers, John.
green material underneath its ice.
Antarctica.
Yeah, palm trees and shit like that.
Oh my god, I almost knocked my rig off looking at this dumb
And
shit.
it suggests that Antarctica used to be equilateral and then got binged downward or upward, depending on what you
Moved.
look at the Earth. It moved it.
Oh, 55 to 48 million years ago, there's palm trees.
So that would have post-dated Pangea. So it would have already moved out of Pangea, and then some other cataclysm shifted the crust.
I'm gonna find a YouTube video of what happened after Pangea.
So for Petoskey stones, it says a Petoskey stone is a rock and a fossil. So it's both. So the dating you're dating is like the fossil.
Look,
The
I
fossil,
got
not the rock.
Often pebble shape, it's composed of fossilized
Scuba.
coral.
Bring
Such
me out.
Okay, hold on. I'm full screen into there. I'm not paying attention.
they were formed as a
Switch, take a
result of
dab, Bake.
glaciation, in which sheets of ice plucked stones.
we
So it'd be coming from the time of the ice age.
Yeah, but the coral itself, from which the
Well, the
Petoskey,
coral itself would be much older. Yeah.
the coral itself is supposed to be 400 million years old.
So it's from way.
There you go. Now it's doing its thing. Now it's becoming. Watch, Africa is going to pull apart from South America. There. Whoop.
Have we had a satellite watching this whole time, just clocking the?
You're always watching, Red.
It's all.
No, it's an animation.
Oh, we cracked the
tell 'em
simulation.
that,
We wound
Bake.
it.
Look, if Africa is two different fucking.
Dang,
things sewn
North
together,
America
boom.
split apart, then split back together.
Yeah, those are three different.
That's how you get the lakes.
That's
So
probably
there's your 50 million years, 45.
That's how you
Right.
get fossils
40.
in the lakes.
where it happened.
Australia's coming north too.
The continents, our
Shout out
North America
to,
split in half and then reformed.
Australian viewers, roasties.
Ice Age, yeah.
cheers.
You gotta understand,
Good
right
day.
now, in this animation, there's volcanoes going, there's havoc going crazy, and the world's just forming new land and
Well,
swallowing old
I
land.
mean,
Dinosaurs,
cracking,
but we're talking millions of years ago, so dinosaurs are roaming while this shit's moving.
Possibly.
Okay, so
Haven't you ever seen The Land Before Time?
I have seen it many times.
Littlefoot was
okay,
my
so I want to
Yep.
if I just finish this one sentence, and it'll just tell you where they came from, and we don't have to guess anymore.
Yep.
It says that the Petoskey stones came from glaciations. Basically, the glaciers dug them up off the bedrock when they went through and threw them up into the fucking lake. So, in which sheets of ice plucked stones from the bedrock, grinding off their rough edges and depositing them in the northwestern portion of Michigan's lower peninsula.
So what are you saying? They're getting trapped in ice up north in the North Pole, and somehow the glaciers made their way over to the lakes and dropped them?
No, what I'm saying is when we had the ice age and the glaciers moved across the face of the continent at that time,
scoured.
it scoured all the way down to the fucking bedrock itself and pulled up those fossils.
And then dropped them.
And then just like sprinkled them out.
When it melted, then
Yeah.
wherever it was, it dropped.
Well,
That's how you
mounded up, and then and when the ice melted, it deposited
Interesting.
them.
Haven't you seen like the big stones that are like in the middle of like just fucking nowhere? You're like, how the fuck did this get from Canada? Well,
No.
it came down.
I'm gonna do a dab, and then Spartan, I need to show you that crazy city that I was telling you about.
What crazy city?
What are you
The
talking
one they're
about?
building in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How he described
He's
it to me.
happy
That's a
out there.
proper
too.
teaser.
How he described it to me was, the game Halo, and how there was like terrain on the inside of the ring. I'm like, yeah, because that's what they're building. I'm like, they're not building a Halo out in the desert, man.
No, they really are, bro. Look at him over there. He knows too.
So I really want to see what this looks like now.
Let's do it. Post hash time.
But he's got to get his.
You gotta catch up. He was talking, man.
Yeah, he's got to get his dabber-do.
Should I have one more dab? Sure.
Do it.
Lucas says, interesting. Where some of you get your fun facts to know and yell.
No, and yell.
Well, there you have it.
We were there.
You know what? I've always called them like Cliff Clavinisms. It's just
I got it
stupid,
ready,
random
Scobo.
bits of information. Okay, you ready? Let's do it.
Yeah. 105-mile long city in the desert.
All right.
Look at this thing.
Blow it up.
It's funding it.
It's a mirror.
Can't. I'll try.
They just put mirrors on both sides of it.
It's the hypercube.
Well, those are probably solar panels. Like I was telling you, it's
Oh,
gonna power
okay.
itself.
How many birds are gonna smash into the side of that fucking thing?
Oof. There you go.
None.
Get a video right there.
The
They'll have
ecological.
people for that.
They'll have people for that.
Yep. They want it to be. They want it to be the what? 8th wonder of the world.
This girl's job will be to get the birds off the side of it.
The other 7 wonders are natural. You
You
can't
get him aside right there. Didn't you see that?
They did.
Oh, look at this metal portal.
Yeah, what's that?
See,
Dope.
like Halo.
They got.
Like
Oh, you can
Halo.
fly too.
You can fly?
Apparently.
See?
I don't want it if I can't fly.
And like, look.
Well, you better hit.
I
Fly.
don't think you can fly.
Where else you gonna? How you gonna get
Or
across?
is this just going to be VR?
This is AI based, Neuralink based. That's what it is.
Yeah. What was holding those stairs up?
Neuralink. You're not really flying.
Boom.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh, you
VR.
gotta wear those set.
Oh, it's paradise in the middle of the desert.
No way, dude. It's Neuralink.
Wait, who did you say was buying this?
Saudi Arabia, the oil people.
A whole
Alrighty then. There you go.
All you have to do is go sit in a chair and be locked in.
This
an
is on NPR. Yeah.
Okay, well that's cool.
You sit in a chair in an office cubicle.
We'll see when it comes to fruition.
Unplug red.
Well, I saw an article recently that they started building it. I saw a picture where they started smoothing out the line for 105 miles. What the hell?
Smoothing it up. That's a good start.
I
Yeah.
have a question for you, Baked, about the meta shit.
The VR. It'll be more land. and
Like,
natural.
the VR thing that Facebook is trying to do. What is your take as like a solid gamer on that? Is it just Second Life Part 2 or what?
It looks like trash from what I've seen. I wouldn't mind a good VR, but like that's years away. We're talking like maybe not.
It's
a
always been
lifetime.
years away. Even 30 years ago, it was fucking years away. And here we are 30
Yeah,
years
but
later.
now
and
at
it's
least
still
you're
years away.
looking into shit but like I don't know.
It looks like fucking like a Wii though. You know what I mean? Like it's just ugh.
Yeah, it doesn't look real. It looks
No.
No, yeah, it looks like a Wii. Exactly. That's old as hell. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
I prefer.
No, I haven't even looked into it or anything. I just seen
They're
bits.
bleeding. They're bleeding money. So I think we're not the only ones with the same opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a good idea in the fact that like think forward. Always think outside the box. VR is gonna be here. It's gonna be something eventually. But is that the one? Is that the one? I don't think
right.
so.
No.
And I hate how
Yeah.
it's like we're gonna encompass everything and control everything and like fuck all that, especially those guys.
Did you ever Spartan watch Ready Player One?
Yeah, I love that show. That's pretty
Yeah, I like that shit. That would be cool.
cool. That would be dope.
Like that's when it's gonna be cool. Like you just fully go into it. But until then, you don't have me.
Yeah. That's how I'll go to the moon and shit. I'll do the VR moon tour before you get me actually up there.
Yeah,
I was just
no,
reading
you're
an
not.
article. They're saying by 2030 we'll probably have people working on the moon. Like it'll be a job to work on the moon at like
Yeah.
a base.
I'll be
doing
growing space weed.
Space weed.
I'll keep my feet right here on Earth. I think. Probably.
I'll send you some space weed. All I have to
Dude.
do is I go outside the lab and I just look at there's Spartan on the planet, and I chuck it,
Oh, you gonna do like the rods from God thing, where you could just
and
you know that
physics will
theory where
take
you
it
could take
there.
like just a regular like a rebar rod
You just gotta put like
and it came through, it'd be like
I'll put it in a good
like a,
container like Tupperware so it
Heat
doesn't
treat-
melt on
do you
entry.
remember
yeah,
that
you
shit,
need
Pat?
heat treatment.
Pyrex will work.
It's the
No,
corpse style.
we'll have space elevators by then, so just put it on the elevator and it'll come on
Man,
down.
that would be sick.
Beam it up.
Wasn't that some fucking long forgotten Elon Musk project like all the rest that fucking
No, I've
I think
actually
that was
reading. I
Some
remember about
maybe-
I
that.
think at one point the countries were gonna try to do it
Yeah.
because South Park made fun of it.
It was like an ISS fucking thing, I think.
Yeah, it was like who's the first that could do this, and then everyone realized this is massive. This is a massive undertaking to build something in
Yeah.
it from the atmosphere out to the outside the
Theoretically
atmosphere.
possible,
That's
and
crazy.
if you did that, it would save so much energy because you could put it just on you just need to connect a heavy cable from the surface of the Earth to the surface of the moon.
I'd like
just
to talk
keep
to
them
an
tethered
expert
together,
to
right?
see
Just
if it
hold
is
the moon in its
theoretically
place. Don't let
possible.
it go anywhere.
Yeah,
Don't
and
change
that
the thing.
I'm
that's
gonna
the
Google
idea.
this.
That's the
There's gonna be
idea.
a
And
lot
then
of elasticity.
it's got an elevator that's just like a freight elevator that just goes up slowly, so you don't need much power. You just gotta get past gravity.
They're not static bodies from which to tether something. I think aren't we going through space at like 52,000 miles an hour or
No, the
some
moon
shit?
always faces the moon always faces the Earth.
Does it always stay in the same place?
See, it'd have to be incredibly strong to handle the gravitational and centrifugal forces pulling on it.
Centrifugal.
Because it's gonna be different at different heights and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
the
what,
speeds.
yeah. And then you're gonna have part of it have no gravity once you get out. And yeah, I don't know. They say
you fix
right
that with
now.
a-
I Google it and it says right now no, but if they do some advances in carbon nanotubes, possibly.
So what you do is you just break it in the
Carbon
middle of
nanotubes.
space, and you just have a little space station right there.
Jump.
You just have a little fucking thruster to get you to the other space station that's tethered to the
Yeah.
moon, and then
You gotta
load
jump
it
through
up.
like a
But
video
then-
game
but
in the
then-
tube.
Then the other question too is what is the point?
Your propulsion, you know?
So you could bring shit all the way to the moon and set up a base there, and keep.
See, I don't think you could build a elevator and attach it to the moon. I think it would rip apart.
No, I said attach it to something in between, like a space station,
But
and then
we're
on the other side of the space station have another space station, and it goes to the
Or
moon.
elevator.
So you only go
yeah,
in like
Becca, she was like, wait, yeah.
you can do this or whatever, but you just got a little
Shit.
platform, a little spaceship that ferries you back and forth between the two.
The elevator goes to a loading dock and a jumping ship.
Dude,
the jumping
Earth
ship
Yeah.
jumps
is always moving. The
Thank
Earth
you,
That's
Becca.
what I'm saying, Becca.
is moving. You can't
So,
just.
I don't think
You can
I don't think the moon and the earth
Okay.
do this.
Okay, so this
I think
is
they're doing this.
this is no the moon faces the Earth. That's why they say we never see the dark side of this moon. You never see the back side of the moon because it's always facing the Earth.
But the Earth still moves. It's not. They don't.
Yeah,
go
but
like-
it's still a much shorter distance, even if they were facing on the upper side of the Earth, than to go from the surface of the Earth fighting gravity to go there. If you can get it to space, and you can just transfer it back and forth between the two in space, it takes
Hold
next
on
to
now.
The
you can
elevator.
do it with solar power almost.
The jumper, man. Use the jumper.
The jumper, man. Just take the jump ship.
Use solar sails even.
Now we're going totally fucking Jason and the Argonauts in space.
No,
right?
man. They just
In other words,
brought one back down.
the
just
moon rotates
just
exactly
do that.
one time, or once every time it circles the Earth.
Say what?
The moon rotates exactly once every time it circles the Earth.
Where's the
So
map?
every time it circled the Earth, it'd be ripping apart the space station.
Get one of those.
You'd have-
What are you talking about?
Over the Earth turns.
Because it's rotate. It's
turns.
the moon
They're not
rotates
Yeah.
They're not
one
connected.
time around when it's going around the what's not connected.
It's connected to the moon only.
But you said it's connected by space via space station.
There's another one connected to the Earth. They're not connected to each other, and then you ferry between the two.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Look,
you just wait till they time.
You don't
and then
have
like,
to.
all right, let's
Earth,
pair.
You don't. You can just feel together fairly close. You don't need much energy in space. You just need little
Yeah.
tiny thrusts.
You got the Earth,
Yeah.
the elevator, and the moon, and then you jump from
So
the
you
elevator
you
to
would
the
have
moon.
to go to that spot to get
Hold
up
on,
there.
climb up the elevator. You take the elevator, dude. It takes
Yeah,
you.
it launches you up.
And then you're like, I don't know, dude. What's this? Like 10 miles up or some shit? Whatever.
Are you in space?
You're at like the point of like you don't have any air. You know, you're like high enough up where the air is so thin that you don't
I
need
like
much
using the RSO as the
like
illustration.
So you got the Earth here, the RSO is the
The
elevator.
weed jar and the RSO, and then you got the dry sieve.
Man, the moon coming around, it's coming around, or the Earth is spinning so fast that this is a slingshot. Slingshots you wee all the way up to the moon.
Slingshot. That's scary, but it could work.
You're the thing.
Oh, you mean take
What Spartan's saying, Red, is you would have another RSO tube attached to that gram container
Where on
of
the
its
moon?
own.
On the
Yeah.
moon, you don't need an elevator on the moon though, because there's no atmosphere on the moon. You can just land on the moon.
The point is not having launches. Launches cost you the biggest cost of space
Right.
travel right now to us is
Yeah.
launches, getting off the planet, the initial burst of energy.
Hold
So if
on.
we can avoid that, we save a lot of money.
Wait, hold on. The moon doesn't have an atmosphere, so you don't have to actually launch
It
off.
does have a little bit of atmosphere, just not.
Yeah,
not
it does.
Oh, well, okay, so not.
well, not atmosphere. That's the wrong.
So
gravity.
really, so Red, you're really just.
You're fighting gravity, but you're not fighting
Yeah,
atmosphere.
gravity, not atmosphere.
Would you be okay with one space elevator from Earth to space then?
You all your drag comes from.
Yeah, even that's better than nothing.
You don't
Yeah.
you have gravity. So
Welcome to the
Even if
MBGS
it was like a
astrophysics
First,
episode.
though, Spartan, we have to do something cool like build a wall city.
Trump's fighting
It's
gravity.
probably like once a day they could have a launch, you know, because like as soon as it gets to that point where
The
The
moon
launch
does
window.
not need the elevator, man. The
Did
moon,
you guys see the big launch? The Apollo 1, I think it's human's biggest rocket ever.
Yeah,
It's pretty big.
I
It
just
lit up the night sky.
wish they would use all of this energy to fix the problems we have on this planet. Instead, what are we looking for?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
What are
well,
we going to go to the
yeah.
moon for? Just so they can mine the shit and bring it back here and continue.
Well,
capitalism?
hold on now, though. In the,
Well,
in
put all
the
that money
efforts
in.
being devil's advocate,
The-
what if they said that when we were in England and they were like, "What's across the ocean? There's nothing, man."
No, but we already
You
have been to the
fucking
moon. We
idiot,
know
there's
it's there.
nothing.
No, we've
And
already
then
been to the
and
moon.
then they
We
were
know
like,
it's there.
"Don't spend money on going out there. Never have America. Never have
Well, I
exploration.
mean, it's
Space
hate
is the,
I
space
hate to
is the
tell-
next frontier."
I hate to tell you, Baked, but America was here, man.
European
Here.
It was
Oh,
here.
yeah. But
It was still here.
was it founded?
people were already here.
No, who's to say
Yes,
that
it
what
was
happened
founded.
was
It was
better? Who's to
populated.
say? Who's to say that was the better outcome?
You're talking about the colony side, man.
Yeah,
Space is the next frontier. You want to be the last laughing stock of the universe when the alien coalition? Oh, you guys aren't
Whoa.
even in space yet.
Wait a minute, babe.
What
As
the
the
hell?
non-scientific
China's
person
already
here,
kinda
let me
past
just
there.
ask
They
a
already
couple of
are.
questions. So my first thing is, how are you going to do this? Are you just going to go to the moon and then rape it to take all the shit from it and bring it back here and add
Well,
more
that was
mass
my
to Earth?
question. What are we going
Or
for?
are you
The
gonna-
moon doesn't have anything.
Well,
Well,
those are launching
it does
pads
the
as well.
capitalism, but it's not for like you're not get. They had here we go again with my bullshit.
Honestly, Baked.
There was a
when-
Reddit thing that showed that there was another planet out there that's very similar to Earth, but the distance is in like
Kepler one
so many-
something.
so many light years away. What are you going to do? Are you going to start like a one space program where you just keep breeding people and hopefully the ship doesn't break down and you're able to fabricate parts?
Possibly.
And,
That's
and then like the seventh
Project One.
generation will get there. Is that
Well,
our?
that's
I guess-
Project 1. Project 2, we're working on hypersleep
Say something.
chambers.
and warp
deep
drive.
sleep?
Try
Okay.
Project 3, we got cryo chambers instead. Got
That's
a guy
the Planet
on
of the
that.
Apes method. That's the Planet of the Apes method.
We're gonna send a bunch, and we're gonna figure it out as a human
See,
race.
the survival of the best
We're gonna
science.
stop fighting, and we're gonna get all the smartest guys on it,
Now
and they're
there's
gonna
our
be like,
pioneer
"Oh, this is
guy.
how you do that." And next thing you know, we're space traveling.
You might want to inform.
Movie.
You might want to
What?
inform Russia and China that we'd like to stop fighting.
I just think
Well, we have to too. It's everybody's got to come to a middle ground.
Well, yeah, you really got
And you know where the middle ground is, Spartan?
Where?
Defending our planet against aliens in space.
Serious.
They're already here. What are you talking about?
No, aggressive
It's-
aliens.
Shh, quiet. They'll hear you.
Yeah, if Spartan goes missing.
Starman. Frontier. I think we should be exploring Sirius. I think that should be our frontier.
Sirius
How many
is a
light
sun,
years
is
away
a
is that?
star.
Because if we think about all of the different cultures around the earth, that if
bet
they
you it's
were,
hot
if they were building structures 30,000 years ago to face this, my theory. Okay, here's my theory. My theory is not based on Hancock. This is my theory. My theory is all of these cultures are facing it because they want to go home, right? They're all stuck here. They all got here somehow. Like
they ruined their home and
like
they're trying to fucking come here.
I think they all came here to work through a
That's what
Stargate.
we're trying to do.
And then during the cataclysm, where I think the Stargate was on Atlantis. All right, this is my theory.
We're bringing all the movies now. The
Stargate was in Atlantis, yeah. So some sort of like a wormhole or Stargate, which may have been in the Bermuda Triangle, which may explain the strange energies that Bermuda Triangle forces get every so often. Maybe this thing energizes and it opens up. Well, maybe that all got filled with seawater and is 400 feet below the sea surface, in the bottom of the ocean 30,000 years ago, and so these cultures can't go home, and that's why they're facing towards Sirius. That's my theory. And it might not be Atlantis, but maybe there is the Stargate or the wormhole or the spaceship or whatever it might be. But for some reason, they know they need to contact Sirius to get back, and maybe that's the frontier we should be looking at.
You just reminded me. Project 5,
Oh,
we're testing
Jesus.
out wormhole travel. Project 6, we're testing out gravitational manipulation travel.
Gravitational manipulation.
Yep.
travel.
And we're gonna figure it out. But you guys can stay on the rock when it's just a rock, if you want.
Well, then
I like
go
the
on,
rock.
get then.
Yeah.
Don't make
I
me
like
stamp
the
at you
rock.
like a cat,
Wrong.
you know.
I'm
What's
looking
wrong
at
with this? What we
Kepler. It's Kepler 186f.
What's that? Sirius?
The closest
No, the
planet we
closest.
found that's within a habitable, what they call the habitable zone around
Goldilocks zone.
every sun or star.
Like the next planet.
And yeah,
we
it's the
oh, shit.
Goldilocks zone. And
Exactly,
it's a
Spartan.
certain distance where it's not going to be too hot, not going to be too cold, not
We're
going to
just
get too
kicking the
much
can down the road,
radiation.
man. That's all we're doing. We're kicking the can down the road. We
humans
gotta
colonize it. Give humans a
We're
little
going to
bit.
colonize it and we're going to do better.
And it's gonna be
Exactly.
inhabitable in just a little bit.
I'm with Eric Jones, man. I think we already trashed Mars, and that's part of that Stargate system too.
We trashed
Mars
Mars.
has water. Mars had an atmosphere.
Did you? I think I already showed you
Stargate's
guys
on
the
Mars.
mountain on Mars. How did
Yeah.
we trash that?
Mars, and they got there from Sirius.
I
They came to
think
Sirius to
humans
mine. and-
going to another planet is like the most selfish thing that our
Mhm.
society and culture could ever do,
Hell yeah.
because
We're
they
space parasites, man.
how
Damn straight.
fucking dare you?
Yeah,
That's
fix it.
Fix it.
terrible.
It's not even.
Here.
But it's not even a symbiotic
So-
relationship.
So
where
hold
we're
on,
like,
time out. Let's do a hypothetical. You're chilling out at the farm, Becca, and this is like an outdoor farm, like a farm. There's corn, and
that makes it a real farm, of course.
yep, and boom, alien just pops in, big old mothership.
Yo.
Crop circles.
And they get out of their mothership and they beam down. They're like, "Hey, you, what say you?" And are you gonna tell them, "How fucking dare you travel through space? You left your planet?"
No, that's such a specific.
Thank you. Get him back at.
Like,
It's not specific because I didn't name any type of alien. I named any alien.
probably be like, "What the fuck? This is crazy." Alien.
Well, yeah, but once you get past that, you gotta answer them.
Our colonizing society is just gonna go and ruin the next planet.
Is it colonizing or is it exploration? Is exploration not a thing, or is it only colonization?
Whatever you want to call it. Maybe we came from another planet and that's why we're here in the first place. So
We've already explored
knows?
Mars. We have a drone and a droid and a fucking drone and a droid and whatever the fuck else is up there.
The 6
We're gonna go
We already have cameras.
change the environment and make it nice.
Oh, you're gonna terraform fucking Mars.
Terraform,
That's where
that's
our
it.
next.
Exploration
What's that? Step
Yeah.
7, step 8.
Yeah. That way we're
We'll
just
figure it
using
out.
a big rock
Dude,
and we're recycling in the space.
I mean,
Nobody
if we
that's
can,
going to be able to do this is going to be able to. Nobody that's good is going to do this. It's going to be
Yeah.
I know.
assholes going and exploring planets just to do whatever the fuck they want and create their own world.
That's why we
just
got
had
to
2 billion
hijack one of the
dude, we just had 2
the
billionaires
ships.
fly to space on a vanity project.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is the start of space
I
travel.
think
Well,
we
it's the
need to
start of
figure out-
something good. The assholes will
we
proceed
need
us.
to still prove that we can fucking take care of a planet before we even
Yeah,
go
man.
to a goddamn planet. We
Yeah.
should take
man.
all those resources and fucking do like renewable shit. You know what I mean? Instead of being destroyed.
Yeah.
How many years would it take to terraform a planet to
without
plan
harming
all this shit?
I have no
It
idea.
depends on the technology you have.
Work on the technology.
But
Advance
it's
the
like I don't know. It's
If
like
we
so
get
complicated
quantum
because,
computing,
well, first of all,
computers.
you'd have to create soil, right? You'd have to get microbes fucking doing
Well-
their thing, right?
Well,
And you
but
would have-
So right there, temperature, humidity.
Yep. And now we have to make sure that we don't have too wild of a temperature swing, because that's one of the things about this planet is it's very
Yeah.
small in its temperature swings. We start looking at other planets in our solar system, and it's
All right, let
So
me.
I played a game about this, and you colonize Mars and you terraform it, and there's missions you can do too. There's like, oh, nearby asteroid, it's a huge ice asteroid. What do you want to do? Crash it into the North Pole of Mars. Boom, get some water going. Now I got a couple clouds going.
yeah, but
And
you've
then-
also blocked out sunlight because you put so much Mars dust up in the atmosphere that you've dimmed the sun.
It's
to
not
have
that
anything
big. It's
grow.
not that big. It's not that big.
No, it's this.
We
it's gonna be
measured
like-
it. We got scanners and stuff.
What if we did this right? What if we did this right? And we worked on the technology to first repair atmosphere, which would be our own here on Earth, and we fixed
That
our,
would be great.
well, hold on. Let's work on our. Let's start there, right? And then once we get all that figured out, maybe by then the technology to like explore, right? It would be like cheap enough, you know, it'd be efficient enough to send robots and all kinds of cameras and all kinds of information, building experts that are robotic and, you know, able to like do things efficiently and over a period of time. And they get up there and they do things to where they're not destructive, you know, right? They're fucking around, making mistakes. And they do it while we're down here fixing our atmosphere, and then they figure out how to fix that atmosphere. Okay. And then while that atmosphere is getting fixed, and then all of a sudden, now we're like, okay, who wants to go to Mars? Because now we have this beautiful, healthy planet up there. It's not just a biodome that you have to live inside of this, like, you know, think of like when Matt Damon was the fucking Martian, right?
David.
And growing potatoes. It's not that. Now you have
What
like
is that?
blue sky, you know. Now you can go to Mars. I'd want to go to Mars in that case. I'd be like, yeah, man, let's take a vacation. Let's go to Mars. You know, maybe it's a little cheaper. Maybe take a solar.
I'm down with Red. I like the idea, but that's the problem is getting everybody. How are you gonna get everybody to work together without? Hey, we gotta fix the planet.
We're not.
Bro,
We
it's not
already
working right
got
now.
to fix the planet. Nobody's working together.
Right. Ain't working on it now unless there's a profit to it.
Yeah.
The
Less
leaders
of-
our
less of
people are
What
not
if, more of
us.
how to.
Okay. Ooh.
I think if you could get everybody in a room, get them a nice soft pretzel, sit down, talk, we'd be able to do that.
Good weed to smoke.
What if we got
a
out
little bit of bud
airsoft
going
guns?
through the vents of the ventilation,
Personalities
maybe.
of the billionaires of the world. That's where it is. And I'm not one of those. And you know,
Billionaires are parasites.
Yeah, I'm not one of those yet. You know.
You're working on it though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, I mean,
You don't have a sneaker deal with Adidas coming out, do you?
Oh, really?
no, dude. No, it would have
Just little people, bud.
The
it would
Wookfoot
be like,
fucking series, man.
I would want it to be like some like
They're all barefoot.
like
It's
Just the 3
nothing.
stripes.
The all bear.
50 bucks. Here you go. Here's the bag.
maybe Adidas has it. Maybe we start getting all of the maybe rather than like, you know, I don't know, man. I think that there's a way of doing things right now, and a lot of it is based on the ease of access, which is trade, and you know, it's so easy to just like global. A lot of people are for like globalization and stuff like that. A lot of people aren't. I think that whether you are or you aren't for globalization, if we knock down all of the borders and we just got rid of borders, okay, let's not even talk about the different countries or anything like that. Let's just talk about the difference in efficiency from shipping materials and doing things locally versus international, or not, again, without borders, long distance. Okay, anything is way easier to just have a diverse, um, what would it be? It would be a non-monoculture.
You mean New World Order?
No, hold on.
No, I'm just fucking. I couldn't
Oh,
resist it. I couldn't resist it, man. I just had to throw it.
Decentralization of most things, where you have many, many, many. Let's just say lumber yards all over the fucking place. Anybody can go access lumber, stuff like that, and so like you have mom and pops everywhere, and you have shops and things like that, and people are able to have commerce, and people are able to have community, and people are able to have products, and whatever, art and all of that kind of stuff, as it has been and was for hundreds, if not thousands of years, if not who knows how long, and maybe even before the last cataclysm of humans. It happened for thousands of years before that, in a way that we have it somewhat, the last 100 years ago. Trade, pioneering, even money's a good thing. Money's a great thing to be able to use to buy certain things, and I'm not saying that that modern technology is a bad thing at all. I think that it's great that we have the technology to be efficient, and I think that we should use those technologies. And I'm not even saying that things like fossil fuels are a bad thing, but I think that we should utilize our fossil fuels more efficiently, and that means that utilizing other forms of fuels as a what would it be? Supplement, right? For example, cannabis. Here we are in the cannabis show, makes a great biofuel. As a matter of fact, if I take this RSO right here and I squeeze a little bit of it onto a stem right here, and then I light it on fire, which I'm not gonna waste it, but let's just say I squeeze a little bit onto the stem, I could light that fucker on fire and it's gonna flash and then burn, and it's gonna melt and sizzle and whatever, but it's gonna burn for a decent amount of time. You could probably even keep one of these in your survival pack in case you need to start a fire one day. It's a biofuel. We should be growing more of those, more biofuels that we can supplement our fossil fuels with, because we can still use fossil fuels. It's great. They work. They're efficient. They're clean. Let's talk about diesel. Diesel's a very clean fuel. It doesn't have much harmful emission, and it works because you can generate the value to be able to run things like heavy machinery. Where if electric heavy machinery is probably a pretty far away. If not, you need hundreds of electric motors.
Well, and then you're using
battery
fossil fuels to create the electricity in the first place.
Exactly. So it's the perpetual motion machine does not exist. We need to advance our technology so that we can get close to the perpetual motion machine.
What if every continent had a mega solar station?
They potentially do in their land. They could turn it into that if they wanted to.
I'm just saying, like every continent, like we have one. Let's say
You
North
know,
America's is located in Arizona or something like that.
Right.
And
But
then
the
we're
problem
talking-
is that's not supplying much. And then who's going to pay for any of this shit, guys?
What do you mean?
Like motherfuckers are out here going,
They-
damn, I can't even afford Christmas this year. Like
We have to
Just need the roads.
again,
The roads.
The roads, we make the road solar. We make a farm out in Arizona, and I'm talking. They calculated a square footage and saw it in the desert that would supply the whole world with electricity
to allow
if it were solar.
Everybody should be
I'm gonna
growing
find
a
it.
backyard full of biofuel cannabis instead of grass. You get a lot more production out of that. It will get all kinds of building materials and whatever.
For cannabis.
Imagine if everybody had a subsidy to grow cannabis, and everybody grew a little bit of cannabis in their backyard, and we used that for biofuel. We used it for
Cool.
We used it for fucking food for chickens and cows. We used it for fucking insulation.
The problem is that it shows up in the livestock. So, like I was just reading an article where they're bitching about they did a study with cows, and they're feeding them industrial hemp, and the cow's milk still had detectable levels of THC in it from the hemp.
What's wrong with that?
Well, what's wrong with that is when kids drink the milk, and then the parents get upset and sue the company.
Yeah, but are
They
they
lose
actually
their company.
from it? Are they actually? Is it actually being?
This was a study. They didn't do this in like a commercial setting. They were just trying to see what it does.
That'd be bad for people to grow hemp in their backyard. Everybody grows hemp in their backyard and change the
I
fucking.
was just telling you, like if you eat those animals, then you're going to be ingesting THC unknowingly, and some people don't want to eat THC or ingest it.
You don't have to give the cows the flowers. You can do something else with the flowers. You can give the
They
cows.
were feeding them the stalks. It was a mix. It's a hemp mix. It was stalks. I think there was some
Okay, all right, never mind.
seed too in
My
there.
point is long gone. Forget it. My point was back at the turn back there and around the corner. So we can make a good point.
All right. I got this RSO kicked in nice.
Kicked in nice. I mean, you got 25 minutes to ride right there. Hang on, baby.
Eating our,
Yep.
our
Go take a nap.
news.
You'll be able to take a nap tomorrow when you get home. You'll be all right.
That's what I'll do. I promise you.
Eat a cookie. Take a cookie with you and eat it on your way
Yeah,
home.
I'm right here.
That nap will turn to like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
They're not quite as strong as normally, but they're still fairly decently strong. Just like you forget about them strong, so it's like you're just sitting there and all of a sudden you're like, why am I high?
Yeah.
It's not super. It's like it's subtle in the background. Or if you smoke a joint and you're like, wow, why is this hitting me so hard? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot.
The cookie.
The cookie.
I love chat.
Red, what are you doing? Reading something?
I'm reading chat. Yeah, chat's awesome. I like chat's reading.
Because it was just smiling still.
I'm reading all Chasmine Devil cracks me up all the time, but he says we should be figuring out how to turn the dead into fuel, not compost. I think that's just a great comment. It's fucking, it's not bad. I would rather be, something useful, like a better carbon source than just rotting away in the ground. Worm food's cool, or maybe a tree. That's fine. I mean,
They can't get through the stone vault, Red.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to become biofuel is great for what
It
I
can be legally composted, I think, 5 or 6 states now.
legally.
What's the half-life on concrete?
My consciousness will move on. And whatever happens.
Well, the Roman concrete's still around.
Hopefully, it's just ethical. Whatever you do with my body, just make it.
If I give my choice, I want you to stick me in a fucking boat with a bunch of fucking flammable.
You want to shoot arrows at it and fucking
shoot an arrow. Yeah, but I want to go down a waterfall and then shoot the arrow as I fall, and then light me up. So
do you want us to bring you back up when Baked misses the shot, or do you just want us to say?
Yeah, keep doing it until you got to do it until you get it right.
Misses the shot. Huh?
You know what? Instead of the flammable stuff, if we really got a lot of money, let's do C4, and then
You want to explode over the thing and just throw your body parts everywhere?
Yeah.
just
When
go
you're,
out,
when you're breaking down this soil, I mean, you are becoming more nutrient available
spread
to
spread
everything.
it out. Yeah.
Smaller
A little
bodies.
bit of you on the land, a little bit of you in the sea, a little bit of you in the trees, a little
Back
bit of
from whence
on
you
the
came.
trees.
I don't have to be worried about buried alive or anything. I would be definitely dead.
Oh, dude, no, that's the worst.
I like the
No,
one where they put you in like the burlap bag.
That
with
is the worst.
seed
It's
from the
just-
tree.
that was like a real thing during like
Buried alive just seems. I guess I'm claustrophobic because that seems terrifying.
there was a time in history where that was
Finger
real.
bell.
Yeah. What was that? Was that there was like a medication or something that people were taking, and it was like
Yeah, there's something that people were.
people
Going
were
into
taking
comas.
something, and they were going into comas. Yeah, I don't know what.
And getting buried alive.
Yeah, super bizarre time in history or whatever the hell that was about. I have no idea what I can't remember completely. Again, even if it's a true story or not, but it's compelling.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just have one thing really quick. I found this study that you're talking about THC in the milk.
Tasting the milk.
And so it's like one research farm, right, with 12 cows. They split them in half. Half of them had the whole plant. And,
With seed too, I think they were saying.
and it had low levels of cannabinoids. like specifically, and the other half ate hemp leaves, seeds, and flowers with a higher concentration.
Oh, so the flower eaters. Well, that makes sense.
So, and those ones had, that's where that came from, not the first group. So if they're eating, I would guess like the lower levels of CBD, those types of varieties, I think would probably be fine. But if it's like gonna have THC in it,
I don't know. I would theorize in my, I don't know. I would want to theorize that in history, between the relationship between humans and farming and agriculture and what we've kind of had to use as resources, we've had hemp and cannabis on our farms, and we've had cows and chickens and dogs on our farms, you know, just for at least
that's where you're going. Yeah,
few thousand years. I have a theory of in the modern era, the last 100 years, the 1900s specifically into the last 20 years of the 2000s, that humans have become cannabinoid deficient. Our endocannabinoid systems are not running at full swing because our cattle and our chickens do not have the cannabinoid content that they had prior to the industrialized era of the 20th century. And then after the cannabis laws made them illegal to grow, humans were no longer, you know, coexisting with all of this stuff that we were putting into our bodies inadvertently, whether or not we were consuming the plants as a food or a smoke or a medicine. Our animals were, because we were growing it for other resources, right? Think about the time where, you know, farmers were subsidized to grow hemp during the war, so that they could make sails and ropes and things like that. And what would they do with the excess? They would probably give them to their livestock. You're not going to buy feed if you have this available. We're not. We're using our leftover cannabis to feed our chickens. It's only sensible. You don't want to feed them heavy grains or corn. You know, you can get a inferior product if you do that. Hemp is far better. If you've ever eaten, shout out Dave Morganja, man. If you've ever eaten his pork, oh, dude, some of the best pork ever. He feeds his hogs some ganja, and it's so good, man. I don't know how much
Not flowering plants.
Right, but I just want people to be aware that
sure,
those products from those animals could have THC, and if their kids eat it and then test positive in a test at it for some reason, and then CPS come, you know, it could get really ugly. And so just be aware. I mean, you guys don't have to worry about it right now, but I'm just saying, everybody else out there listening.
It's a PSA.
I don't know. Yeah,
it looks like a really new study also.
If it's somebody without cannabis in the home.
Well, there's only a 12 fucking animal test, you know. But
like Brett is saying, though, he's saying that he thinks that there's a cannabinoid deficiency and it was being met in the past. He's agreeing with the study. He's saying that it was being met in the past from eating this livestock, and I agree with him. The study seems to corroborate.
Even if it's in the milk and we drink it, I think it's better for us to drink it, even if we have to drink it as.
Better for me and you, but not for a child, according to studies. That's the only negative that I've ever seen with THC is the developing brain.
I think that all of our ancestors developed their own brains on that same.
And lived way less than we are now.
We smoke way more than they did.
Depends on what you're feeding your cows, though. I doubt everybody's throwing all 30% THC to their cows.
Well, we also know that there's like THC that's old, that's like 4 and 6% too. That
Right. I mean, you're right. If you're feeding them hemp, by the time it gets processed to a cow, it's going to be minute levels.
Cannabis as a biofuel. I'm not talking about growing 30% THC plants, man.
Right.
These are really taking my let's overgrow the planet here out of context, because I'm talking about growing the cannabis plant for what it is, as a biofuel, and whatever to change we were talking about technology, and if we want to use cannabis to change technology, we don't need to worry about THC. So we don't need to worry about kids getting high. We don't need to worry about politics of THC. This is, again, there's no borders. There's no law. This is technology and biofuel.
Red, I have a question about your overgrow. Is if we use it as a bio remediator, right, and we're pulling bad shit out of the soil trying to prepare things, what do we do with that product then? How would we dispose of it?
We inoculate it with fungi and enzymes and dispose of it properly.
Okay.
Compost it.
Yeah, turn it into compost. Allow enzymes to eat it and naturally turn it back into the earth. And then it eventually turns into oil. And then it eventually turns into carbon. You know, and all of the bad shit eventually turns back into the minerals that they were, and whatever, crystals, lava,
crystals,
mountains. None of it's bad. It's just bad how we store it. It's bad how it accumulates. That's what's bad. And we need to just redefine how we distribute waste and how we distribute technology, is my opinion. That's all.
It's been a hell of a late sesh.
Hell yeah.
Baked, what are you looking up?
Nothing.
Oh.
I was on mute myself. I ate some honeycomb.
Me want honeycomb.
With
Just
the wax or without
I've
the
recently had a good honeycomb surge.
Honeycomb.
Been getting a lot. You can get, yeah, they've been on sale.
He's not talking about the real thing, Red. He's talking about
honeycomb cereal?
Cereal, bro. What are you talking about? You think I just got bees on deck? I got an indoor beehive in the winter.
You know, Blue Kiss. Her honey,
Yeah.
she includes the comb.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
you gotta put them to sleep in
That's
the
what I
winter.
thought you were talking about, man.
Is it by lullaby or something else?
I don't know. I don't know what do you do. You winterize them though. She said it. I remember. I was like, huh.
She said
Wonder what you
something, but
do.
I don't remember.
I think you saran wrap the box. Keep them warm.
They keep themselves warm, pretty much.
Yeah.
You gotta feed them though.
I'm not a bee expert, but I found a bee shop.
Over by
Might not be an expert, but you found a bee shop.
There's one.
Yeah,
in
it's a straight
Double
beehive
B.
keeping shop, and they sell suits and stuff.
There's one in Napoleon, but you can go to Blaine's right across from Sam's and get all that stuff too.
Blaine.
Oh, go to some corporate chain. Well,
Well, who do you
talking
think's
about
making that
small
Tyvek
business.
suit? You know, come on.
Oh, okay.
Like mom and pop are back there cutting out that not Teflon.
Breathable
Win
or
the game, yeah, man.
breathable or
Tyvek.
not sweaty plastic?
Make it out of panda film, right?
Oh, dude.
Ugh.
It's a fucking sweatsuit for real, for real.
Yeah.
It's probably just like super thick.
Super thick.
The fiberglass.
It's super
yeah.
thick, yay. Ow. Oh, I like it, Baked. You got the neck going, everything.
I did have one more topic, but I forgot what the fuck I was going to say.
Oh.
He brings it up. I'm like, sweet.
Oh,
Yeah, I was thinking we're good, man. We're golden. Red's gonna take us home, but no.
Bigfoot thing.
Come on, Bruce Hornsby.
What ounce cup you got there? I've been on a cup
The
kick
distracting.
because I'm on hot chocolate kick.
Dude, you mocked me yesterday on the fucking cup talk about
What?
measuring the
Show that one.
yesterday when we were talking about the size of the cup holder in the trunk. You could just go out and measure it, and you were like, well, Skilbo just with the measuring tape, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Like damn,
I
bro.
said I pictured it. As soon as you said it, I pictured you out there. Whoop, whoop, swoop. But no, coffee mugs are different. That's a different subject. We're talking hot chocolate coffee mugs.
Is there a hot chocolate mug? Is there such a thing?
It's the same thing as a coffee mug. You
It's just
want
never been
something thick.
sullied.
It's
by
not
those
going to burn
beans.
you. It's going to get hot, but it's not going to get hot on the outside. It's going to get hot on the inside, so you can hold it.
You need like a stoneware
And
cup or something.
you don't want it. You want any extra taste. Like if it's made out of something weird, you don't want it. Like I don't know about the metal ones. I've seen some metal ones. I was like, I don't know.
So like the
Wash
skull
on.
of your enemies is not the material you want.
The
No.
goblet.
I don't think so. I wouldn't want that.
This one's a thrifted one. I got it at a thrift.
Which one? This one?
No, the other mug.
Yeah, that's a
Thrift store.
glass.
Thrift store is a
That's
great place.
glass, sir.
I have a
There's
friend.
the mug. Yeah, that looks like a 8 to 10 ouncer.
74.
It's a short one. Yeah.
60,
I got 16. I go for 16.
64.
probably a 1964.
Oh yeah.
That's what
1960.
saying was 64 ounces.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like a.
That makes you a giant, Red. That's what you're.
He likes
It
smaller.
says
cups.
Taiwan.
Let's get smaller.
Taiwan, but it doesn't have a year.
I like to add 2 packets of hot cocoa, so I always get 16 ounce.
On them.
Do you add a sugar packet or no?
No, I never thought about that.
What is
That
this one?
seems like a little extra. It's already pretty sweet.
Say there already is a lot of sugar to begin
I
with.
use milk instead of
It's
water
baked we're
though.
talking about.
Wait a minute, what kind of hot
Impervious.
chocolate mix are you using,
Swiss
Bake?
Miss.
So right now I found one that I really like. It is Swiss Miss, but it's
Oh.
Swiss Miss
Nah.
indulged. Oh, what else are you gonna get? There's nothing else out there.
Oh, you didn't look.
Show
at
me,
them.
show me where it hasn't been corporatized to hell, and there's some custom hot chocolates out there.
Oh,
Nothing. Okay.
Can I
Polly's,
get the
man.
all one more time?
Go to Polly's.
Polly's? What do you mean? I go to Polly's. I got some of this from Polly's.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
they have a wall of Swiss Miss. That's it.
I know, and right next to it, they don't. They got some good shit, man.
I'll take a picture and post it.
What's-
when
what's
it
some
I
gets
good
can't
out
remember
to
the
you.
brand. I can't remember the brand. I'll take a picture. And
Anyways,
You're
the
a
Swiss
deli or
Miss has an
something.
indulgence series, and they got rich chocolate. It's
Rich
delicious.
chocolate. It's creamy.
you draw
Yeah.
bath first for the rich chocolate indulgence.
Draw-
No,
bath?
no.
Like the
the only
candle?
you just hold your pinky up when you drink it.
Okay, there you go.
That's the requirement, and it's
shit.
delicious.
yeah, I actually
I
like.
forgot marshmallows though, so I didn't have any marshmallows to add.
Do you get the mini
That's it.
marshmallows or the gigantic ones? What do you do?
I like either. Sometimes I like the little, but the big ones are nice because the little ones just melt away sometimes. The big
Yeah.
ones stick around. You can fuck with them. You know,
Jesus, how long does it take you to drink a thing of hot chocolate, man?
depends
40
on how
minutes.
hot it is, Spartan. If it's real hot, I'm sitting there messing
Well,
with the
it's cooled down.
marshmallow. I don't like it too hot.
I see.
Uh,
For ice cream?
I don't either. So I just put a lot of marshmallows, and then the ones on top usually don't melt all the way.
Yeah, that's a good
Have
idea
the cup
too.
full
Yeah,
of marshmallows
that's
and then add the packet and stir.
Yep.
The cup sits here. The last like 3 cups of what are we talking about? Hot chocolate has been like boiling right off the rip, and like the marshmallows are going in without it's cooling down. And like by the time I get a chance to start drinking it, the marshmallows have just completely dissolved.
Ooh, like fluff.
yeah. There's
Wow.
marshmallow flavored chocolate. It's just really good.
So that's good.
We're using a mix, but I do like just using straight cocoa.
I have like
Hershey's
the big
cocoa.
red jar one.
She uses this is different than what I'm talking about. What she has is the big red jar one.
Well, you just use like cocoa powder.
yeah,
that's
that's
weird.
Oh,
right,
there's no sweetener.
He's,
right.
he's got marshmallows in there, man. That's sweet.
That's your sweetener?
Yeah, well,
Jeez.
this is more of like the raw drink that I'll put mushrooms in and stuff. So this is just
This is a good one.
So this isn't hot chocolate per se.
you
So
know
why the chocolate with the mushroom?
Magical hot chocolate.
Yeah.
he's talking about.
Yeah, she probably has what I like.
She has
Good old powder.
powder in a can.
Yep.
It's some good stuff.
But you gotta use milk. You gotta use milk though.
It certainly makes it better, but you could also make it with water and then add like a little bit of like
Handful of
Irish
marshmallows.
cream.
Ooh,
Man.
yeah.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah, I guess.
Really good with Irish cream. The Irish cream is a great replacement for milk.
Just like every once in a while.
Give it a little kick.
little
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
Becca
Yeah,
needs a
I
little
don't
drink here now.
Water. And milk is probably the best way. You can just cook it on the stove with the milk, give it those stirs.
Simmer it. Yeah.
Actually tastes pretty good with coconut milk. That's what we like to use.
Coconut
Oh, I
milk.
haven't tried that. That sounds good.
I almost wonder if it'd be better just using
I like
something
always
fat,
get
like a
coconut
buttermilk or something,
Almond milk.
like heavy milk, like a cream or
Yeah.
something. You know,
Heavy whipping cream.
Doesn't like almond
Well,
milk.
maybe a whipped
Whip,
cream.
whip
Oh,
cream.
I like almond milk a lot.
Whipped.
I do
No.
Whole
too.
whip
But almond milk
cream.
would probably be good in hot chocolate.
Yeah.
It's
chocolate.
not really creamy though, and coconut milk's
That's
a little bit creamier.
Almond milk's not good in my
Oat
belly.
milk
Oat
is
milk.
creamier, but think about pesticides.
Yeah,
I
oat
don't
milk's
know where it's
oat
coming
milk's,
from.
Ooh, did not think. Yeah.
That's a really good point.
yeah, oat milk's
I use cow milk.
grains
I
are
use cow milk.
inflammation
Good
stuff.
old-
Goat milk. Fake.
Good
thought you were
old
gonna say
whole
human.
cow milk.
I thought you were gonna say human, Vic, the way you had that smile on your face.
Is it organic?
Nope.
No.
I
Well,
use happy cow milk, so they're
There's-
happy.
ingesting pesticides then.
Yeah.
Oh,
If it's
Well,
not organic.
luckily, I
Pesticide.
built up an immunity over 32 years,
Ugh.
Oh,
and
excellent work.
yeah.
For
I
some.
get it. I just tried. We just try to minimize it as much. as we can. That's all. But I get it. We certainly don't eat very well all the time.
So all of our
Oh,
blood.
stop. You guys eat as well.
Yeah, you guys probably eat
You
phenomenally.
eat healthier than probably all of us.
To minimize it and try to detox as much as we can. I mean, dude, I still eat whatever. We
It
were
really helps.
contemplating
I
getting
have
like Chinese
Type
food
1
tonight.
diabetes, and it like really helps my blood sugar control so much.
Yeah.
So
Well, speaking of not eating well and diabetes, Spartan, when's the last time you went to Sam's Club to get some fucking sweets up out of there, man? You came to the pre-show 2 days in a row
No,
without like mowing down on something. Man.
That's because I got cookies now, man. So I'll smash a Spartan cookie and I'm just fucking chilling.
Just good, man.
Yeah, man. It's good. It's about a week, I think, a week or two ago. I went and got some, but I'm all out now. I just do need to get more. I do have a few things like Pop Tarts. That's a good go-to. I got some Pop Tarts in there.
What do you
what flavor?
What flavor? Yeah, cherry,
Cinnamon.
Brown
cinnamon.
Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm with you, baked.
Not my
Again,
favorite. Not my
choice.
fave.
Cinnamon's a wonder food. What are you guys talking?
Honestly, I like
You're gonna get
strawberry.
what?
I
Strawberry.
like strawberry.
Becca?
brown sugar, cinnamon.
Yeah.
Now,
two.
are
Yeah.
we pick? Can we pick like?
You can pick whatever
modern
pop tart you want,
flavors?
bro. You can pick
Well,
whatever you
then
want.
wild
I knew
berry.
you were gonna say fucking wild berry, dude. I knew it.
That one's so good.
I was gonna make a joke about it. I was like,
Un-
stand
un-
up.
Am I the
Those-
only one that's gonna say unfrosted strawberry or unfrosted?
Yeah, anything unfrosted, you're 90 years old.
Yeah,
Frosted
it's
strawberry.
like Popham's brand and shit. when you
Yeah,
go
like
get,
what is that?
bootleg off-brand like
Here's some whole wheat.
dollar store
enjoy.
fucking Pop Tart.
It's just
Oh,
it's
Wow, man.
the reason. My
Spartan.
only reason eating it because there's just so
Spartan.
much sugar in those. I just have to
Yeah.
make it myself.
Oh, dude, the cherry Pop Tart ones.
I think it's less sugar without frosting for some reason. I'm not sure.
It's definitely less sugar.
Yeah.
I mean the other way around. I think
But
it's
the
less.
ratio's all wrong.
Makes sense.
I know it doesn't make
Oh
sense.
no, I think he's right. I
think
think we once looked that up too.
It was like,
What were you
There's
trying
more
to tell me?
sugar in unfrosted Pop Tart, is what you're saying?
The middle.
yeah,
Pop
yeah,
Tart
yeah. And maybe
unfrosted has more.
I like it,
That's crazy.
or maybe it's the
They
same
just
amount of
pump it
sugar either
full of
way.
It's
sugar.
giving it more shit. Yeah.
I get a
We're not
headache
gonna let you-
no matter which way.
Oh, they have more calories.
More calories is what it is. Okay.
Dude, Pop Tarts,
Yeah.
you can't sit around and eat a box of those, man. You're getting
Unfrosted
like
is
4,000
210.
calories. or
Processed
some shit, man.
200.
Oh, all
That's
right.
crazy.
It's just a little bigger
You
crust.
should eat like half of one.
They're
Yeah.
so tasty. It used to be one of my favorite snacks.
Oh, Spartan, I was just gonna tell you that they shortened Aunt Millie's bread loaf of honey wheat.
They cut
They
you
Oh,
out.
yeah,
shortened
that's-
it, and it looks a little whiter.
Same
So I
price.
think they're bleaching
Bleaching
it.
it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, of course, same price. Yeah, well, duh. Yeah, they're business people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed that. I said, "Oh, so you're gonna shorten it on me, huh?"
Change the ingredients. Yeah, man.
Mm,
Yep.
Yeah,
cheapening out.
they'll just lobby the FDA to add some shittier restrictions anyways to allow for shittier.
Yeah, the
Oatmeal
bread
pesticides.
game's a dirty one.
Oh, don't talk about the bread mafia now.
Preservative.
Yeah, I
See, Spartan's
shouldn't. I
being mum.
shouldn't.
Mum's the word on this
Yeah,
one. He's like,
he's like,
Omerta, baby. Omerta. I don't know shit. Don't talk to me about nothing. I thought I was blind till you walked in the room, officer.
Well, let me
Yeah.
tell you, Bread Mafia needs to get some good sourdough around here. I'll tell you that.
You gotta
It's about minerals, not calories. Everybody, love you.
If you want if you want
Minerals.
sourdough, you know you got to do it yourself.
Calories.
I know. I gotta find. Yeah, but you gotta find a starter
Starter.
or a yeast or
What do you
something.
mean you have to find a starter?
Probably-
You of all people, you the fucking internet at your fingertips.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm thinking about. I could Google this and probably get a really good
That's dealing with the
sourdough
bread
starter.
mafia again. That's you've already crossed with them one time, man. They're
Yeah,
not
can't
I'm
ask
not-
us the
let you
bread
in.
mafia.
I'm about
Or
to
bread
pay my
mafia will
dues
not
to
help
the
you.
bread mafia. Oh no!
You're
Here's a
not getting that.
baguette. Get the fuck out of my house.
It's a wonder they haven't shut us down yet.